that game against Mouse, you know, that quarterfinal, that was winnable for 3D Max. They won the first map. They were definitely looking like they could win this second as well, and that would completely change the course of this conversation if 3D Max were to beat Mouse, who ended up winning the tournament at Blast Bounty. So they've shown that they can play Counter-Strike at a relatively high level. They probably also, you know, targeted this tournament. As you said, you described it pretty well earlier, Trey, saying that this is the Super Bowl for a lot of teams. This is the tournament where a lot of these underdog teams want to come in, get off to a strong start. So outside the player break wasn't as long for 3D Max as for some of the other teams, like Na'Vi as well. So there's definitely something to be said about that with best of ones as well. It does feel like the playing field has been laid out for an upset right here, and I expect a competitive game despite the two teams should be far and far apart.
Yeah, I think the best of one here, right, is probably the best chance that they will get at knocking Na'Vi down into lower bracket, right? But you know, the fact that Percy still remains quite an X factor for me, I don't know what to expect from him. You know, like he was AWPing in Gamer Legion, now he's back on rifling since Maka is there AWPing, right? So he's a big question mark to me. Can he elevate 3D Max the way that they want to? I'm not sure.
And I think what has to be thrown out there into the world is that 3D Max and a best of one have to walk away with this veto in a comfortable place for them to activate a guy like Kersey or Maka in a situation, you know, like they have to have a level of comfort, because obviously there's a deep playbook. If you look at the side of Na'Vi, you're going to be running into about every obstacle that you can think of. So I'm thinking we can get this veto up on the screen. Obviously that 0 second timer, a little bit misleading, but we'll figure that out in due time. Where are we going on a best of one?
I hate to break it for you, but no team has the capability or ability to win a veto when it's a best of one. You get to remove 3 map seeds, so you're always going to land in a middle ground map sort of, and that's where Na'Vi, you know, being as strong as they are, having a relatively deep map pool, is going to be comfortable. I don't expect Cash to come in there and be this map where they're going to take a gamble up against 3D Max. I'd love to see it personally, but that would be a big gamble if you're Na'Vi. Now, they have the opportunity of doing so, Peter. Would they force it? No. Too scared, you know, makes sense. There's no reason to play around with that. Inferno, yeah, we haven't seen it today so far, I believe, on the stream, so at least a change of scenery.
Yeah, that's nice. I think Na'Vi had a lot of options in this one. When there's such a big skill gap between the teams, then the top dog will definitely be in a place where they can just go in so many multiple ways. And with the map pool percentage win that we've also seen from 3D Max, it's just hard for them to find like an edge if they can't really turn their attention to just 2. And obviously not playing Cash, that doesn't really, I mean, it's cool to see that Na'Vi decides to leave Cash for like the last veto process to then, you know, keep other teams guessing a little bit if they have actually practice or whatnot. You know, it's up in the gap. But Inferno is very comfortable for Na'Vi, and I don't see many ways that 3D Max should have a chance in this one.
Wow. Well, I mean, we've definitely heard that one before. Isn't that right, Jacob? We've definitely heard those almost same exact words uttered, which I can actually remind you all at home. If you want to get involved, you can go ahead and do the play match pick'ems. Let us know who you think is going to win. There's a QR code that'll pop up. It's right there on the bottom of the screen right now. All you really got to do is utilize the QR code. If you don't know how to do that, I can't necessarily help you right now in this moment. It's not that moment for this. What it is moment for is for me to ask you guys who's going to win the game.
Yeah, well, I've already said that I think Na'Vi's going to win this one. I was right with FaZe, so why not continue my streak, Jacob?
Yeah, I think Na'Vi's going to win as well. I wouldn't be surprised if we get a competitive game of Counter-Strike, a bit of a rusty start maybe for Na'Vi having to get into it, but with Blade behind them and with a team that's been together for as long as they have, it'd be very surprising if they weren't able to cleanse a win on Inferno.
Which is awesome when you think about the tutelage of both coaches in this regard, right? One is definitely not like the other, but they're both been there the entire time. And I'm sure you're tired of us yapping, so we'll do what you all want us to do and start the game.
Alrighty, folks, Na'Vi 3D Max approaching. We got some Frenchies on the stage here, live from Paris for the Esports World Cup. So many games, but we're here to focus on our baby, Counter-Strike 2, baby. And I mean, I'm not sure what Chad thinks. I think this could be a rather quick one. Of course,
really?
Yeah, Na'Vi, mate. I mean, sure, I'm a 3D Max fanboy. Like the way they play, lots of aggressive maneuvers. I think Maka can be quite an exciting prospect in the server. But Na'Vi on name value, on, I don't know, head-to-head, I haven't looked at it, but I'm assuming Na'Vi have beaten them.
I think we can do a couple of things here. First, let's address Na'Vi versus 3D Max this time last year at EWC. Na'Vi upset, 3D Max upset Na'Vi, and that was a single elimination 16-team bracket, right? So they lost and they're eliminated. That one probably left a mark.
Ooh.
But since then, a lot has changed, right? This 3 3D Max roster is different. We've had coaching change, we've had in-game leader changes, we've had a couple of players go out, Body and Ecstasy. They've made way for the likes of Masuta and Kersey, who we saw in Gamer Legion as an AWPer.
Right, and how much of Kersey did we really see?
Yeah, not enough, right? It was a short-lived stint, but he's operating as a rifler in this roster of 3D Max now. And then you have Na'Vi, on the other hand, who we haven't seen it play an official since their Stage 3 major exit, losing to G2. So the only thing I can tell you about them that's looking new is the jersey.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, they had radio silence. We thought, surely they're going to try and make a trade in the off-season. But no, we have the same roster, and we'll see if we can get a different looking result for Na'Vi coming out of the gates this time around. The other head-to-heads in more recent history have been at EPLs, but as far as the new complexion of 3D Max is concerned, this is the first time we'll see these 10 players locking horns in this complexion.
And as far as, how you categorize, if you were to describe the style of play, 3D Max, I feel like I can do that one.
Okay.
It's that proactive CT side. It's very kind of live and die by that sword. For Na'Vi, are they categorized as the team with the strongest fundamentals? Is the word default going to come out of your mouth? How do you categorize and describe Na'Vi to say a newer viewer?
I think in terms of, let's go with theory. Ooh. They're a team that does a lot of theory, right?
Okay.
They play Blade system, right? Alexi is essentially calling Blade system, and he's a bit of a taskmaster over there. I see Glaive in the building, I see Device in the building. I tell you what, we got 100 Thieves coming up next. The young faces, the old faces. I got off the Na'Vi topic there, but I just turned around, I saw Glaive. I went, oh, okay, well,
yeah.
They're looking for someone to sit.
I'm excited for
they
that
should
best
go to
of
the player lounge. It's a good player lounge.
Is a good
I don't know if they've been there yet, but we'll see them coming up shortly. But yeah, Na'Vi, right? This is a system-based team, right? This is default for sure. But when I say theory, we're talking about the decision tree. Okay, this utility was thrown. We make this choice, or this choice. Now, in terms of that system, it's going to be tough when you have a team who likes to be aggressive, right? Think about Maka in the past when we talk about this man on Inferno with the AWP. Likes to be in holes and boiler, but not the setup with a teammate. He'll be there on his own, right? Likes to do a little bit of things out of the box. So we'll see if they can find some momentum to kick things off today. CT side start on Inferno.
We're going to be swapping those cams over in just a moment. Let's get this started. He's start for Na'Vi. Maka up close with the Jawlies. He's going to have a head-to-head. Lexi B. Wait, I'm so confused. Hold on a second. That's not Maka, guys. And that's not Alexi B either.
Wait, it's Mikazi at half wall. Flash over. Maka. Jill Berettas takes the first. Get any more done. Wants to stay staunch on the fight. Wonderful will trade. Mikazi up and through. He goes down, but Gravity immediately takes the half wall position and those dual Berettas.
Can go both ways. 2 on 8. Masuta versus Imet. Nice headshot, does well on the Glock at range. He's even put one into Kersey. He's in so much trouble getting run on down and into his toes on the jump. Imet finds it. There's Lucky back through the Moto smoke, trying to isolate onto Alexi B. It is a one-on-one that Alexi will prevail. An important round-defining frag from Alexi facilitates the plant. Gravity, this late arrival, 1 kill so far, needs another 2. And Alexi B, his first challenge, playing the time, rotting the clock, and enables a double up. Wonderful will fight with him, and Na'Vi will start as they mean to go on.
Okay, so a little bit of a kerfuffle there in Banana, but Immer bows them out. And he was the man that was under an awful lot of scrutiny in this off-season. Right, this was the man that I think people were looking for. Okay, let's get Frozen, let's get Emma out, let's make this change. Now, for people at home, they just go, which player do I think is good and might fit these roles? They don't consider buyouts and everything that goes with it. So, Na'Vi, it's the same team we saw the last season taking to the server, but I don't think they'll be happy with the season. Right, it's not... the major is the exam. We've had Blade say that before. And not making the playoffs does leave a mark, and so does that nade. So, Lucky, brought down to half HP.
100 right in his lap. I'm surprised. No, I'm not surprised.
Just Maka over towards...
I'm going to 53 there.
Right now, your Na'Vi, your job is to go through the motion to take map control.
Took 20 health off him, but it landed right in his lap.
They have at least the first half of Banana under their remit.
I like that nerdy smoke. You don't see that all too often. It was thrown out by the longside player Maka.
You would like the enemy to see that, though, because if they see the trajectory of that, they might assume that they're blocking and that they're stacking the other side. So he's going to lob out another, but there's nobody to see where this is being thrown from.
It's not selling anything.
But they are returning to B. There's 50 seconds left, so still plenty of time to change. They might just set up an execute, send in Makazi here with this MAC-10 for info, and at the same time, over towards A, there's the opportunity for Bit to take some space. Otherwise, they're going into this stack, full steam ahead.
Okay, let's see if it is just going to be the Makaze MAC-10 scouting party.
Let's follow through.
No, there is full commitment. Maybe you want to back away. The water's a bit warm, lads. Kazi's Deagle headshot onto Makaze, but there's commitment. 25 seconds. This can go wrong for Na'Vi. Immer onto Lucky. There's Bit. 2 more at the back of the site. Running at them with Glocks and an
Oh, it starts
easy
slow.
one for Gravity,
there it is.
finding Alexi. Gravity hiding out on the reload, and the smoke goes for a USP. And just Maka, this rotation through. The bomb scooped up just in time. Wonderful, get it down, but my goodness, by the skin of Na'Vi's teeth, they survive that walking into the stack.
So that's one where Blade just sitting and watching that from behind a coaching perspective is extremely stressful. But you see, they didn't rush the plant. They made sure they cleared out the side. They understood what they're up against. And Maka still looking to make a little bit more of a dent in the finances. So gonna find himself base of Banana looking to do some damage, see if he can take away another Galil. Bit wonderful. Don't want to overstep the mark to give Maka a chance to get back into things, but they have secured the round. And this will be the 2-0 start for Na'Vi as, okay, they'll exit through CT. So Maka not going to get too much for his troubles.
I always like to see a second round force with a plan. And there certainly was one there.
I think that from a calling perspective, you're going to think you got away with one if you're Alexi. Oh, I called us into the stack. Thanks, boys, for staying gun on. But you're not going to feel like you're outmaneuvering them. Actually, that feels kind of good if you're 3D Max. You took the gamble, it paid off, and they walked into your stack. You just couldn't hit the necessary shots. That's fortunate from him, that is a very impactful kill in the scheme of things. It does alleviate pressure. So 2 impactful rounds for Immer and a smile on the Romanian's face. Boost up for Maka top Banana.
And a horrible combo of util. Has Gravity dead, Maka next, even a nearly onto Lucky. There's 13 points of health, nothing really to talk about for 3D Max's chances in this one. Just gonna putt it in. They're not taking any chances, even throwing that bomb across. Lucky for the exit. Oh, yeah, not the weapon you want to be going into a head-to-head duel with. The MAC-10 quick to adjust in the air. One more bullet would have been nice. Masuta unable to provide.
All right, well, the focus going into this first rifle round is going to be Maka. Right, he's going to bring out that AWP. We'll get to see how he wants to ply it.
Straight to apps, round 1.
Well, this is it. Is the game plan going to be to fight for banana control? Right, this is where we get to see what 3D Max have opted to bring in today against
Did he
Na'Vi.
just kill the grenade?
They don't have a kit, so if the bomb does go down, it's already Inferno, so that will reinforce the save idea unless it's full chaos, and Maka will be starting over towards A alongside of Masuta. It's Gravity, Lucky, and Kersey looking for the banana control. Nade right into Boiler does extensive early damage. So as they're trying to stall you out on your default, you
His
get a nade
grenades
for your
have,
troubles.
like-
Ooh, Gravity.
Oh, and he's dead.
That's brutal. A little bit of a sound cue, all Makaze needs, and he gets bowled over.
And they're just going to explode into A. 3 out apps, 2 up mid.
You better be strong, Masuta. Already down to 43. Partners up with Maka on the short side now. The pressure from both fronts. So uncomfortable. He's got pressure on 2. Still finds a follow-up onto Makaze. Dips away from the apartment's pressure. And now we've got a retake.
Well, they will give this one a go. The fact that they have them boxed in, they should give this retake a look. Sure, there's no kit, but they've responded to this very quickly.
Crossfire on site. Wonderful and Immer working on that, and they've got that loose piece of bit able to enable no worries about the balcony. Kazi pathing forward now, trying to break that site crossfire with Lucky. Bit able to lend a hand as well from the balc. Time ticking, lads. Are we going or are we not? Backing away.
I think they
uninterested in the
took
10
too
second
long
defuse.
to.
Okay, a bit of fishing going on right there, seeing if anybody oversteps the mark. You take a look at the U2 left over as well, and you're thinking,
Because it seemed
he
like
could
they
be
were
in a position
trying
to
to go
have
in,
a
but then
motor,
it
that'd
looked like they
guarantee
were.
it. But he was just staying as a bit of a nuisance over
But
towards apartments, and that's going
really
to be 4-0.
hesitant
McCarthy
about
down on the screen here. He's going to be very happy with a freebie and banana there onto Gravity.
Tagged by the wall bang in the last frame. See this from Makaze. He hears that burn and he just scuttles it forward right into the pocket of Gravity. I was impressed by the way Maka handled that wrap. He confirmed they're dropping out bulk at the same time he spots someone pushing middle. Managed to provide the double and get away with that AWP. See if he can do something with it into our 5th round of play.
Immer's flashing.
That's a big nade. 100 damage inflicted onto Makaze and Wonderful.
They've really burnt these smokes. There's 2 left.
I see them reloading a lot.
So
But don't you only have like 2 mags? 3 mags? Whatever it is? I don't know.
Opportunity this time through the smoke. Thank you very much.
Just a well-timed burst.
Maybe you used more than I thought you did. Because, like, yeah, we're not on the. Yeah, you guys only have that many. 4
Maps
mags.
set up for the M&M. Maka and Basuta. Clear from Ima. This is such an off angle. It feels like Masuta should have this every day of the week. Kersey up next. Lining up for him, but the AKs will win out.
Still, with that damage, you think it should be good 40 seconds.
It really does hinge on if Makaze can get anything done on this fight. He's just going to be holding the space as his boys head
Are they gonna-
CT, and oh my
Oh.
god, wait, but the bomb's middle. Don't lose the bomb. Lucky down, and he knows there was another near there. Here it is. Overreaction and bad tracking. Makaze punching desk. Ugly.
Alexi should just get bowled over here.
Jiggle bait. Ooh, goes for the wide swing up close, and see you later. Maka dunks on him, and 3D Max are on the board.
Yeah, I can understand the frustrations from Makazi. Up until that moment, it felt like they weren't in the round. If he gets that kill, it's like, okay, back in a big way. But
he could run into A.
these cheeky kills that have been happening through the smokes, right, have dictated his last 2 rounds. But that's the first on the board for 3D Max, and tactical timeout called from Blade immediately. So that's just, I guess, unlucky. How else can you frame it? Or that was lucky.
That was lucky. Yeah.
His alter ego. Unlucky.
That's his evil twin brother.
An opportunity to settle into the environment for Na'Vi. They will have no issues in the buy for this one. It's the next round, so Blade trying to get ahead of that. You've got Emma
It's
and
so
Bit
funny
both with
that
3.7.
to like
The
name
loss
yourself
bonus,
lucky
1900. We'll
if you're like an
have more
unlucky
conversations
person.
about that as
You
required.
can't be in that, that unlucky if you have a.
Lucky with a Famus. EK for Masuda and Force for the other 2, and Maka on that AWP. Full sets of nades, kits in play.
If you're good enough to
Round,
play
get
in
back
pro
underway.
play. Like, I would love to play in pro play, but I am not good enough at video games to play in pro play.
So Kersey again, smokes spot on Banana, heads over to assist with the control. Maka and Masuta.
The T and CT smokes landed almost next to each other. And here comes that test.
Now, if I wanted to
Stand over
train for it,
ground gravity in combination with Lucky
I
and
should
that HE has
so much.
completely silenced this B duo. Alexi and
Make
Makaze
money,
trying to take
too.
some top banana control, and they're left with nothing.
Blade took the timeout for that. And now you're in a 3v5 with a whole lot of time on the clock. So, not backing down at 3D Max, continuing to trundle forward even with a 2-man advantage. Kersey's rotated back in time. He's got the arch wrap covered. Maka and Masuda to deal with short and apps. And it could just be a very long save. Unless they want to knock on the door of Banana here.
Is there a good flash for a position like Gravity's?
If they were T-stet, well...
Nope, just a hard clear. Oh, the crouch nearly worked out. It was under the crosshair for a minute. Didn't find that bullet, and bit trading eventually. That's going to lead to a rotation. You can see Kersey quick to scarper over to ensure Lucky's not alone.
But I'm still...
Hang on, head to head with the AWP here. Woof. Looks like Masuta and Maka both took damage from that.
But they identify in this situation it's likely to save because you're seeing the AWP at T-stairs with 30 seconds left. So if Imma had stayed alive, that's why I was saying, because it was Wonderful, Imma, and Bit, right?
Yes.
So Wonderful could have kept the AWP. The other two are in positions to drop AKs and still buy utility into the next, and it could have been a full buy. But I like the fact that they still gave it a look in. I think one of the things with Na'Vi is sometimes it feels like it's a little bit too by the book. The whole point of the structure and all the theory is to give you a foundation, but your players still have to play.
But I mean, what you're talking about is wanting to see a little bit more, you know, of the fishing style.
Sure.
You know, where you kind of you're not full committing, you're not necessarily all in on the commitment, but you're certainly keeping options open as opposed to it like this is binary. It's either we fight or we don't.
A little bit of a reaction there from the crowd. It makes sense. We got a French team on stage. When we move into next week, we move into the big arena. Well, not the big arena, the one before the big arena. But it's 7,000 or 8,000 people. We can see it from where we're sitting right now. Rocket League's over there.
Yeah, by most people's standards, I think that's pretty big.
Okay, so they still make it work for the most part.
There's
The only mission.
I think. Like, I'm probably gonna watch the.
And I think it makes
I
sense to
can't
give
watch
them
the entire
another.
day because I
That's
gotta
fine.
sleep
We don't need to
some
get
more.
spammed through anymore. We'll take
And I slept
Pulls and Boiler
that
first.
as soon
That'll
as I
be a
started
combination of Alexi, Imma, Bit to work
But I think
on
I'm gonna
that in
watch
this
100
round.
Thieves.
A very passive setup as well. I want to draw attention to the radar for people.
I'm gonna
Nobody
go
goes
back to
short,
bed.
nobody in apartments. They are very passive on A.
And they've just been smoked on the arch side. Kersey's response, a HE grenade that finds very little.
But the stack is in the right place. Not for the first time. But last time it was just a force buy. This time it's everything they desire.
It's just gravity on this jump spot. Cannot afford to get caught out by Makaze on his eventual fight. Safe jump spots. Molly's enough info for him, he'll back away.
And no rotation. So keeping it 4 strong at B for now. You need a little bit more than that, says Gravity, if you want to draw a rotation on his watch. So the net has been set up top middle. And you got Wonderful, Imma, and Bit. Draw that line in the sand. The rotation comes back to join them. You've got Kersey in sight, Lucky towards tall box, Masuda in pit, and Mac along with the AWP.
That's a perfect
Like, 'cause I can
name.
see.
Masuta is ringing, but Makaze head hunting. Maka down, nice shot from Alexi's Tech 9. Kersey stubborn, as is Lucky. Ooh, a quick one on the AWP from Wonderful, breaks through.
And look at the time. There was 7 seconds left as the bomb starts to get punched in there. If a kill goes the other way and a little bit more cumbersome there on the trading, the time could have been the enemy. So Na'Vi with a buzzer beater. Gravity will back off. That's his best option in this one. He's the one who's lacking in the cash department.
Impactful kills from Makaze and Wonderful. Even, I mean, actually, to be fair, Alexi somehow getting real output out of the Tech 9.
It's 2 points of timing there. So one, the nade comes out, does good damage, but then as he swings back out with gun in hand, he just gets deleted, so not on the angle. And then you see Maka trying to get into sight, but they've already breached up short. So 2 players caught by timings, and that's the undoing for 3D Max. 5-2. And another buy will follow. So is
What
there
I was
a
gonna
change up
say-
at a 3D Max? They played that one very passive, right? And we've seen them in other rounds have Maka with Masuda forward in halls with some setups to at least.
I know that I
inform with a
can
little
fully
bit of
see the
information.
screen and I have all the information that I could have that the team doesn't have. But
Nate comes in, swings out, and fortunately for him, they were on the line.
what is then like the man? That was actually a really
So
good
Kansas
spray
is the
down.
third opening kill, the only
But
man providing opening
what I was
kills for
trying to
Navi
say
so far.
is what they like the not a lot of return util. Maybe it's
Oh, that main break was to set up for an opening, unable to provide it. Lucky again on the smoke spams, not going to find as much success. Imma wasn't ready for the double up. Suter provides the trade. Oh, they were blind. Makaze still gets it with the white screen. A swing from Lucky that does not bear fruit. Advantage Na'Vi and just one man to defend A. Masuta versus the world. Na'Vi's 6th unless he finds a crazy multi.
It's a bad smoke.
Okay. That's a good shot.
That is round.
They weaken these guys very
Theory
well.
there on what
Their
is
shots
through Imma's
aren't that
mind.
bad.
So the AWP has rattled off
They
on the break.
do a lot of
The player that
damage.
They killed first was
Just don't get
Masuta,
those like
I believe.
headshots.
And those, if they're starting 3B, those are the 2 players you expect on A. So he's overlooked the potential for Kersey because he's assumed they've gone for another 3-man banana start.
Right.
But he's died, the information's there, they've won out on banana, and either way, they've just been able to putt it in. So Navi up to 6.
No, but that nameplate Counter-Strike, it's very easy to overlook as a viewer where some of these decisions come from players. And, you know, they get caught with a knife out, and it's very easy to sit there at home with your popcorn and go, what are these idiots doing? But there's logic often, most of the time, behind these getting caught out moments.
For sure, right? Obviously, you've got your expectations and, well, you do your homework. There's also little details that we are going to miss when we're watching in this way, right? Because there's so many sound cues that are going on. Players can pick it up. There was a moment earlier in the tournament that I was watching back in the hotel when it was Mini from GG How going to pick B, and he was scoped in early, so the short player couldn't hear him. But then he gets to kitchen, he unscopes. Zontic's always close short. Here's the double scope, Magic stops jump spotting, right? And there's these little details that are happening all the time that it's so hard to pick up because you're focusing on different skirmishes all across the map and everything is always moving. So it's devil's in the details as far as counter.
Yeah, and we can't really hear the game. We can't hear the game audio. We can, but not like they can.
That's why it looks a little bit silly. Second of the map. But first from 3.
Oh, he was peeking out a little bit.
But Emma has had some very impactful moments. I know
for their blinds.
That sounds a little bit crazy, but the pistol he had some nice kills.
That's kind of sad, but
force in round number 2, he gets that
it's all good.
spam kill.
Like we can watch and we can.
That was necessary to alleviate some pressure. Mikazi's openers have been handy, and that one for Emma, he now joins the board. And they also looked a little bit more free, right? Just, oh, well, let's just take that fight, right? So I identify, okay, Alt was long side, we might be able to get a 1v1. Great to see them taking their shots. So we are ready to get this one back underway. So they want to try the same pick.
Oh, you didn't get out of there because there's a molly coming. Actually, I don't know if it was even that molly that was coming, but there was the molly thrown.
So this all came back to that round they finished A, right? They went for the halls and boiler control first. Now they're essentially forcing 3D Max to start in a stance that's heavy towards A, and now they're even forcing 3D Max to play in boiler, in halls, mid crossfire because they don't want them to get the space. They don't want to. They want to win the duels, top, middle, and halls. And
he's not going to know this guy's close.
Mikaze could be providing an opening here. Up against Gravity on that first box. Ooh, nearly 4 HP on Gravity. He does deny.
But there was no smoke from CT. Nobody picked coffins. Nobody jiggled CT. That's information in itself.
True, I see you. He's alone. And if he peeks, he is a dead man. Alexi's got the molly. He can just flush him out. His teammates provided. There's Macaron to bit elsewhere. Catches the mid player.
They should be able to get the bomb down instead of the post plant. There's another smoke forward CT as well.
Wonderful's got banana. This is not easy to get past the AWPer. And he misses the shot between the wickets of 2. Spotted the info though. Knows there's multiple bodies. Elevation still enables the flick up. Wonderful needs another. Gets it onto the Tech 9. And that is round. Ime wraps it up. Puts a bow on it. Na'Vi find a 7th.
It looked like it could have been cleaner there. That miss from Wonderful, but he makes up for it in a big way. And then Emma puts it on home and sends him back in 7-2.
How has he got 2 there with Wonderful? After missing that first, I'm convinced he's overrun. You see the boost.
Sandbags.
You're supposed to be a dead man. He does very well to rectify.
This here, I think Gravity, in fact, he gets that kill. You're thinking, okay. Sets them up quite nicely, but Emma pivoting, the swing's coming through, not connecting our 3D Max.
He's insane. Like, we've seen a lot from him.
The AWP starting towards B this time round, so we'll see if Maka wants to try and press the issue.
I really need to get, like, blind light ups. I blind my friend a lot in this game. I try and blind for him because he's really good at this game. So I try and, like, just play off of, like, his...
Gravity manufactures an extension of their advantage. There's a little bit of something on A.
Yeah, Bid needs to find a gap or a frag. It looks like they're going to try and slip the gap long side.
He just replenished the smoke on Abs. And there's attention drawn. on. Kersey unable to find lethality. He
So I try and
needed that
set
one.
him up best I can.
Now, pressure's on
But
to
sometimes
Masuta.
I
He's
blind
getting
him.
wrapped upon. Bit and Ime coinciding, clearing the site. A back turn enables Masuta. A 4-on-2 that should be all said and done until that bomb goes down. And now Bit and Wonderful making a 2-on-2. It's falling through their fingers. 3D Max had a golden opportunity, a 2-man advantage, and it's just disintegrated. Wonderful knows where you're at, anticipating that jump across, trying to buy time for Lucky.
It's ready for apps or short.
And it is Abs. Ooh,
Ooh.
wrong. Bit playing it safe, could be dead to the swing of Lucky, and is just onto Wonderful, last seen sight. Clutch for him, denied by a quick heady. That's a nice shot out of Lucky. 3D Max find themselves a third.
And they were under a lot of time pressure there as well. You see this 10-second diffuse coming through, so without the kit, those kills had to come in quite rapidly. So well done. I thought Bit would have had him dead to rights, but steps up, cops the dink, under pressure, and Lucky. Very good job from him.
What a relief as well. If you're the A holders there, you do feel like you've just let it go.
Yeah, I have some problems with the way that Kersey approached that. When you have an advantage like we saw, you want to play setups where you can get information and then rejig a crossfire with your teammates.
Right.
But he was so committed that he either kills them all or he's dead. So it did make things a little bit more difficult. He is the most green player in the server right now.
I don't know if you could drop down and like hide again,
7 frags deep, top of the scoreboard alongside Maka.
but that's like
They're all ready to pop A. This is going to happen very quickly.
Yeah, I think quicker than they're ready for. I say that, actually. Info on 2. 1 pit, 1 site. Masuta drops a smoke, safe from the flame. Hard to force him out now, but the HE does break the smoke, expose the defense. Down goes Maka and Masuta, and an 8th round as easy as that.
Okay. Well, as soon as they saw it was Alexi, they immediately knew, they're coming. This is not just one player searching. We are in a bit of hot water. And getting caught on that break, right? The smoke. Plume's open and just deleted there. So this will be 8-3.
It's a really nice response. I was thinking it's going to be hard to flush him out. He's got a smoke to play around. You can't molly him, but you can nade the smoke. Genius. Rock, paper, scissors.
Lizard Spock. The slightly more
layers to that.
exposed format. We got Vitality versus 100 Thieves coming up next. Simultaneously, we'll have Wildcard versus Furia. And then we're going to have a 9Z versus Pain and a Linvision versus Mouse to round out the day. And then tomorrow we get into the best of 3s. Tomorrow we start eliminating teams. We start crushing keys,
And that's that one for 3D Max. You can see it's center stage for these teams.
I'm excited
You
for
even get
tomorrow.
to put the opponents, if you win the trophy, you get to put your favorite 3 keys into the trophy itself.
It could be any of the teams, any of the other
You just
31.
choose them.
Yeah, you don't even have to have beaten them.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. It's like, I don't like these guys. They can live in my trophy.
Just more fuel for the drama.
All right, well, 4 in a pistol is workable. 9-3, and I think this one.
I don't think people pick that up thing.
Okay, we got action on Banana. HE looks like it's destined for damage. Gravity lucky to be alive after Lexi B's combo.
Both teams have had some moments through smokes.
Gravity gotten away from that, thankfully.
And they didn't really win out banana control, so they don't have brackets info, they don't have banana info, and that does spell a bit of a problem.
Here it comes, Maka and Kersey.
Oh, they're playing for a fight.
Yeah,
Kersey
they are.
forward.
Flash mid, you had your knives out, didn't go for the full swing, understandably.
This feels like an invitation to these boiler players, though.
Didn't make an impact sound, in his position not noted.
So I like the heads-up play to take back this brackets control because they would have been in a world of hurt information-wise. But you still have this problem with the low HP of gravity on Bit.
Well,
Okay.
like I said,
A nice one from Wonderful.
Well, the info is wonderful is in Chicken Pit. So, do
Gravity's
that as you
sweet.
will. Now it's Masuda and Maka on 8 to defend against 5.
And you've only got an M4 and a FAMAS. Has to be one hell of a crossfire here. Kaze on the warpath. Good angle from Maka and Masuta in
wow.
combination. Now the wrap can't transfer. It's Alexi's pressure that they overwhelms them. Masuta on the side gets overwhelmed. No time for the plant. There's no time, and you can see the face on him, and that is an awkward way for the half to end. 3D Max given a gift.
That's when the CTs do put up the necessary resistance with the low time, right? We had one earlier where they kind of just fell over. This time round, they stall them out. The clock becomes the problem, and with 30 seconds, they're probably chomping at the bit to get this thing back underway. So 3D Max, you get the pistol. Maybe we can start having a conversation of a map on our hands.
Gosh, that was,
Yeah, they like to run that time down a lot.
The entire Na'Vi squad, but
It looked like that. I have to go back again.
If you're Na'Vi, if
really
you're
like
Ima in particular, you're going to feel a little bit silly.
If you reflect on that first half of play, opening kills actually fell in favor of 3D Max. So Na'Vi had some good trade work, but also had some good moments. Like I highlighted Ima with that two-piece feed on the A side when they had lost the exchange in Banana. So they definitely weren't winning out in terms of those opening duels, Na'Vi, but they did have some good individual output in patches.
This is great.
Yeah, 9. It's just that the clock is racing away.
And Masuta, just by hiding out behind that box, being just hard enough to kill.
Oh,
all right.
This is real fast.
We've got pace, ladies and gentlemen. Bit playing around that smoke, confirms they're not coming his way, but through the backstab is held. Important from Maka. Ima hasn't found the headshots necessary. Does chip one in.
One bullet.
No bullets. He's a dead man. Gravity and Kazi partner up, overrun. There is definitely pace in this one. Running into Alexi's USP for one. Round over, surely. Wonderful trying to get back into things.
I think 3D Max is showing, hey, you don't actually have to plant the bomb to win the round. So going for a different way to secure that objective, but now doing it by the book. Bit of extra cash there as well as, oh, that sound cue may have been noted. I think hold on to the Julies, the Kev, and the smoke, right? Don't throw this away for what? A kill? Like it's
now
feel worth it.
This is Pro CS, so I'm sure there's more to it than group up rush A first timing.
No,
or was that was the call?
That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is fine, right? Because I think if you look at FaZe's T side of Nuke, you could maybe say a couple of similarities are happening there. You're not worrying about taking the map control and then playing off of each other. It's let's cause a scenario that they couldn't possibly have prepped for once we get into a mid round, right? And if we find that entry, if we trade out efficiently, we're going to be in a very strong spot. So 3D Max, when you were asking about trying to frame these teams, that right there, you could just, this is how 3D Max play, right? They're an aggressive squad.
You talked about the Na'Vi and how it's all flowcharts.
Oh, wow,
the
nice
flowchart
shot.
for this round for 3D Max was rush A, and the second step was kill them.
Yeah, and the objective changed at some point there to be, okay, let's just take the fights. It was clear that they were very hungry for the duels. As Wonderful brings out a shotgun into this one.
That's
it will
a
be
rarity.
The Na'Vi.
Gravity.
Banana, full control already.
He just wants to go. Block smoke will be thrown. That's what he wanted, and he's achieved it. Forces out that block util. Alexi has another where that came from, and Mikaze too. So going to be trying to hold on to that for as long as they can.
The key to put the pressure on it early like this is because those smokes you're hiding will be siphoned out quicker.
Yeah.
So you don't get into the last 20 seconds of the round and you can still be blocked. This does put 3D Max in a decent position, but they haven't investigated A whatsoever. They just throwing some light utility to force a response of some kind.
It's a curious choice from Wonderful as well. Not only the shotgun, but how he's choosing to utilize it. He's just playing close short, hoping to catch someone swinging, pre-aiming pit.
I don't know why I'm a bit worried for 3D Max in this round.
Yeah.
Something just feels a bit fishy.
This is actually very interesting. There's a smoke in the apartments. Masuta on the other side of it. And if you go a step further, it's a free frag for Masuta. Here we go. Ooh, nice trade though, provided by Wonderful. Gets some extra cash for that AWP. Alexi just about finds Maka. Bomb to be planted comfortably. Wonderful confirms Lucky's got the short side on lock. I don't know what the shotgun's supposed to do in this scenario. Partner up with the MP9 and rush at them. Got a bit of presence from Ima coming in from the long side.
Gotta get a move on if you want to win this.
Who moves first? It's got to be the shotty. Kaze draws attention. Ime onto Gravity. Now they burst through. This can go wrong. There's the shotgun in a 1v1, and down goes Kersey. 3 kills. Outrageous.
Okay, well, he's just farmed his AWP right there, hasn't he?
$2,700.
He's a rich man. Diffuse comes in, 9th on the board, and what could have been the conversation for a comeback for 3D Max has just been stunted right there and then. Fortunately for them, they do get the bomb down, so they get a little bit of extra cash going into their force buy, but I feel like the win's just been taken out of their sails the second half. A lot of output there from the shotgun.
Nice from Emma as well.
Yeah.
Like, he was the first to pull a card from the castle. That's an expression I've just made up. Actually, a brand new one.
It's
House of Cards.
Yep.
Topple pulling one of them. You know what
you could do it with the sandcastle.
Yep.
You could do it with a.
I don't understand why you guys played such in sight though.
You could do it with an eco. So not opting for the force.
You know, there's a lot of castles for
When
sale.
you know he has a shotgun.
Okay.
Yeah, if you're interested.
Like it's
Yeah.
They're quite
it's fine, I
reasonably priced.
I'm gonna
guess,
give you someone's
but
number. Who am I calling?
but why would you let a
Totally,
shotgun
like,
get close
I
to
was
you?
surprised to find a significant amount of castles for sale if you're feeling medieval,
Are they owned by Zywo or Apex by any chance?
potentially. How many of you are using this eco to Google castles in France for sale? Because there is a few. Check them out.
A nice anti-eco setup here from... No, I think it's more anti-force. I think they're probably expecting a force.
Honestly, I don't know what that is, and I don't
So,
really care.
I have heard a couple of pistols rattle off.
I
Wonderful
was
feeling
more
himself.
entertained in what they were gonna do. Oop, that's gonna
It's
be a nice
great
nade.
to set him up. Here's a couple of steps. Confirms presence just around the river bend. Down goes Maka, and he wants more. He is really feeding himself under the denial. Bit steals the ace. That was nearly a 1-mag 5k, and it's not going to happen.
Well, they've established it was that eco. Now they know the guns are going to come out. So 3 Galils, 2 AKs, the util there. But this is a massive bonus round for Na'Vi, isn't it? Right? They get to carry through some of those lighter weapons, but they also get the cash from that force by win, the shotgun kills. They're sitting pretty right now, 10-5, 5-round gap. Just 3 more rounds to push them forward.
16-3. Couple of eeks in there, but impact for sure. From Wonderful here in the best of 1. Hello, info from Makazi on the jump spot confirms Lucky's presence on Banana. He's rather alone.
Through the mid-smoke.
Yeah, and Bits of Dead Man. Lovely flash from Masuta. Sets Kersey up for the opener, and Makaze's pre-fire does not bear fruit. Wonderful, still able to muster some sort of defense, but overcome by the AKs.
Wouldn't mind if Emma and Alexi want to hang around and do a little bit of damage.
Sure.
It's probably their best option in this situation. There you have a pop through a mid-smoke, catch them while they're going for hefty banana control, rotation miles away. You win out that opening exchange and you find yourself in position to grab this 6th round. We are finding ourselves in Group D. We've already had a match in this group take place earlier today. That was the Mongols versus Magic.
And the 2 big names, like the highest seeds in Group D, it's Na'Vi and...
Furia.
Furia, yes, okay.
We have 9Z versus Pain coming up. So I think 9Z is one that we definitely need to give our respects to based off of their major run. So, look, if you're going namesake, it's Na'Vi, Furia, 9Z, and Mongols are the 4 that would be your likely expectation. But the Mongols have 2 green players in the roster for this season, Tikuak and Darkmeister.
Best Meister.
Everyone was blind there, besides Kersey. Second timeout from Blade. Wonderful will have his AWP.
And the second timeout from Blade.
Yeah, he's not looking too concerned just yet. I'm taking it all in. You can see this man's frustrations from a mile away.
Yeah, one of the many reasons he is our fan favorite is the heart on the sleeve. Cannot hide how he feels about the round. We've seen him smile a couple of times.
And I'm glad he doesn't.
What,
Right?
smile?
No. I meant hide how he feels.
Yes.
It makes it more entertaining for us.
It absolutely does. It has led to some great reaction gifs, I'm sure you can find.
You know you're in a pretty good position to put them away with this round conversion from Na'Vi,
Yeah.
right? Because the loss bonus back and forth in this spread. I don't think that smokes...
Boost to start. Kersey versus Wonderful. And not able to connect the shot. Whistles one past the hip of Kersey.
Gravity's up in towards Boiler already. Very quiet across the map right now. Is some still lined up from Gravity. He's selling mid control.
And by throwing it while already being on that balcony, you kind of hopefully create a little bit of a timing where they're not expecting presence in those apartments.
They're giving a decent amount of room, or at least that's how it looks from the 3D Max lens. We've been able to get banana control without forcing them off the line. Short is the biggest question mark for them at this moment.
Got lots of avant-garde approaches here from the util department. Lucky's got a big one here.
This is apps pop written all over it.
Blocked just the right time as well. With 38 seconds on the clock, you're going through that.
It's transitioning now to bike. He'll have support at 2.
Here they come. Immer to lend a hand, and Bit unloads for 2. Gravity and Kersey sidelined. Masuta spotted over the top of the smoke, and Immer a comfortable finish. It's just Maka and Lucky. Mantles up on the box, does significant damage to Maka. We got to see a plant here. Lucky's found wonderful, and it should enable a plant. It's a 2-on-2. Making this one competitive. Don't forget what's at stake here in the best of 1. 3D Max need this. Begging for it. Maka and Lucky have got to bring this one home. Mikaze and Alexi swing on the short side. A nice headshot, but low. Both of them low. That HE will do the job. Lucky bowled over, and Mikaze looking out for Maka. Elevated, perfect. Finds the headshot. Na'Vi get their 11th.
All right, well, Mikaze with some more impact. He was doing a good job in that first half, finding a couple of opening kills. Now he wins a big clutch. And that bomb going down does make things a little bit more interesting for 3D Max in this, but seeing Na'Vi so close to 13, you got to wonder, what are they going to be able to scrape together? Lucky with that kill onto Wonderful there. That's the only reason the round gets interesting whatsoever. If we catch it in the replay, I think Bit does a great job. Mo's down 2, then I think Immer, right, I would have loved to see him jump up on the box a little bit earlier in that situation, but either way, Mikaze makes mincemeat of him. It's been tough for 3D Max throughout this map just to get consecutive rounds. It's only happened on one occasion, and that was their first 2 on the CT side. Otherwise, it's been very spotty. OC in the finances will be on a Mac 10. This is likely something a bit more poppy or set. I don't feel that because of the Mac 10. I just think it's getting desperate out there. Yeah. I think if you're going to try and play map control Counter-Strike against a team like Na'Vi, and you have some greener names, you might have a tougher time. So
I will say that the fact that Gravity's been given the Mac gives me a bit more faith. I think this guy's one of the best when it comes to the SMGs.
That is fair.
Could be one hell of a HE from Alexi. Bang! Connection onto 3. Softened up for the Mikaze M4, A4, and Alexi's on the floor. Hold on. It all falls to Mikaze, and he runs out of health and bullets, and help is on the way. Wonderful arrives just in time. Locked on CT will make it to Ruins, and a chance for this Coffins fight.
I don't know why it kept spraying there, but...
Ooh, decisions.
Maybe he thought there was going to be another one.
So much time. You think that they've tightened the noose, they haven't at all. Bit just top mid. Could be one of those cut noise moments. You hope that they start playing for info and push through, and you can catch them off guard, or they over-rotate. They will concede the bomb plant with this setup. Wonderful. We'll call the CT smoke. Immer has floated away. And it's Bit, who you'd love to be over towards B with these smokes in. He's got the HE for the break, but going to cut the mustard now. They should be able to waltz in and get this down. Bit still hasn't rotated. There's not a sound cue to confirm this just yet.
They're running out of time.
Look at this from Masuta. Brings the fight to them. Immer was close behind, and the multi denied. Immer onto Masuta now, puts it all onto Maka, and a clutch that feels necessary. It's asking an awful lot from their captain. Immer predicted perfectly by Maka, makes it a 1-on-1. Bit healthy. He's got the kit.
Got a molly as well here.
Maka relocates. Gets the info and should catch the timing. Beautiful round. A necessary clutch. Quad kill out of Maka.
All right, well, that's got the crowd and 3D Max making a little bit of noise there, but this is still going to be a tough way back to things. It's not a round you're expecting them to pick up in these circumstances, especially after this.
Yeah.
Right, this man right here has been involved in any opening they'll give him, right? It's 9 in total. He's actually on the losing end. He's 4 and 5 in terms of success rate, but he's always getting stuck in first. So Maka, 15 kills now, has given them a bit of a lifeline, and you can break the money. Well, it's broken, right? But this is where you need to capitalize, and they're just going fast.
Okay, look at the gravity go. Perfect flash. Bit repositions, baits him in. That's
Surely you call it off.
of a messy one.
He was on his own, right? The Halls pop wasn't ready yet. They weren't close enough, right?
You're
It's
right.
going to take him a little bit longer to get there. So he's just run through, given up his life, and
He just trusted the flash. Bit, however, paths well. Tucked back into cover, baits them in. That's a lot of info. Just spotted the whole squad. Bomb was on the radar.
I understand the decision-making process that we've just seen from Na'Vi, but it does mean now that 3D Max are back in a very strong position. They still want to finish towards A. Heard the app smoke.
Vigilant as well for this gamble. Here comes Masuta. Jiggle from him there. Easy pickings. Wonderful. Similar position. Will he go overlooked? It's fallen into place nicely. A consecutive from 3D Max.
Yeah, we're just talking about how difficult it is for them to get those. So
Nice.
you're not overlooking it in this situation, right? You are definitely going to make sure that you are clearing out every nook and cranny. And with how that started, I thought we were in for an absolute nightmare ending to this map here for 3D Max, but they are still holding on.
Yeah, and the deliberate Mac 10s. You know, I think that's always
These are
it's,
pretty
something 3D
closely.
Max are not afraid to do when they know the
Right.
opponent's in a compromised by
Not
scenario.
they
Just
did
whip out the
own
max
them at first, but
and go pedal to the metal as
it
Gravity
seems
did.
like it's
Well, they'll get an opportunity
pretty
again now,
evenly
knowing that, it's
matched.
the
I think
coming up
Navi's still
next.
better, but
So we'll then retain these and hopefully farm up. This will become 11-8.
I wouldn't be surprised
Three round
if the other team beat them.
Navi on eco with a saved M4 and Makazi that we're just watching jiggle.
Just keep jiggling.
Terrorists win.
The crowd's grown a little bit. I will say most of the French fans are wearing Vitality jerseys,
They certainly are.
but they're still cheering.
And they're still here for the 3D Max comeback.
So they know Makazi's the B defender, right? So you know he saved something. You have a question to ask. Do we think that they're going to place it elsewhere looking for a fight, or do we want to avoid him, right? Do we want to just go to the opposite site?
Oh, that's a lot of damage from a singular grenade.
Gravity again, though, applying a lot of pressure. This time he doesn't actually put his body on the line.
Yeah,
but
I don't
still
understand these
taking
grenades
a
in
glance
this game.
top middle.
Because one landed right at that person's
Bit of wonderful
ankles
playing to be traded by
and
Makazi.
literally did like almost no damage. Now this one, I don't know where that grenade landed, but and like
boost.
almost takes his entire
Easy
health.
pickings. And now Makaze, is he able to find anything with that M4?
You just go B now, right? This is where you would group up and finish over towards the B side. Makazi, one of the B defenders, is alongside of Alexi, but you know Makazi was the man that saved.
Yeah, I mean, it is just a USP on Alexi. There's nothing he can do. Oh, Gravity's keeping Makaze busy and takes him out as well. You can see a little shake of the head there from Makaze. Gravity's very cheeky on those SMGs.
All right, 2-round gap. They're
Three
going to be
on the
kicking
trot.
themselves about how they play that Maka round.
I thought once I
Has been
shot he
somewhat
was
of a
gonna get
fire
taken
starter
out,
to get 3D Max back in.
Well, there's the third and final tactical timeout from Blade.
but that's okay.
There are going to be some issues in the buy department. They are buying, don't get me wrong, but Makazi focusing on utility has gone with a FAMAS. Alexi is going to have to make a similar decision. It looks like he's got, surely he swaps out the M4 with Makazi here, right? You have to. This guy has just been a monster in terms of the multis. Makazi and Wonderful both with 5 multi-kills each throughout this map of play.
You should keep with a fuss.
AWP for Wonderful. And away we go.
Mikaze trying his luck. That FAMAS does start to forge a path down towards Banana. Complete Banana control now for Na'Vi as pressure A. Rather rapid. Here comes Kersey. Swings on into his demise. Spots 2. Easy for Bit. Dips back. Finds Gravity. The trade attempt gets nothing. The suit is gone. This is ugly. Maka and Lucky up against the wall. Need to make this 2-on-4 into a 2-on-2. And they've done it. Claws him back. Stays competitive. Bomb thrust forward. Demanding Lucky plants.
Did he see him cross?
And Alexi get back into
Or does
this.
he still think he's
Partner
in
up
there?
and trade. Replenish on the Moto smoke?
That's huge.
That's perfect.
That might be it. They might just call this off.
Well, no, you go gray screen and it's easy for Lucky. No, it's not. Doesn't track him well. Alexi charges through.
Now
Maka, another, no, 9 bullets. 9 bullets. That should be a 12 for Na'Vi guaranteed. He'd have to hit some crazy headshots.
No kit.
Doesn't swing. Calls the bluff. Double. Trouble! 10-second defuse secured. Alexi's happy with that one.
Okay. Not getting picked apart one by one this time round. I think when I see that Moto smoke come up, it's a tough decision to make, knowing that your loss bonus is only building and we're late stages of the game, so...
Nah, Lucky's going to be really kicking himself. I mean, he's had a great map. He has been, you know, top of the tables. He's been finding impactful frags, but... I think
Bit's double was great, wasn't it?
Yeah, the fact he gets 2.
Your anchor, I need 1, right? That's what I'm saying. I need this. He's over-delivered with the 2 kills there. Bit, for me, he factored in that one for Na'Vi. All right, well, this could be the final round. 3D Max. Anything left for us? Well, not quickly surging towards top mid. They want to try and do some nade damage. Top Banana rattled off. Heaps of damage done. 2 players walking wonky. But that's unconfirmed.
Step in the right direction.
And it will force the respect. They're too low to hang around offensively. But it might force them into a gamble, right? You might see Alexi just come and sit in the site if they can get the timing, because brackets control being ushered in by the help of Maka's AWP. Emma in trash.
Been forced away from short.
And Bomb still T stairs, so it feels like we will be finishing towards B. As he does have a smoke, we're at the 50-second mark. They are going to need to oh, he's just dropped it out. Okay.
Oh, wasn't ready for that. Imma's booty cheek just appeared on his screen. There's a nice one onto Masuta.
Alexi's rotating.
He's alone.
There'll be 2 of them here.
Just about.
I honestly think it jump scared him because it seems like he clicked. Whoever's like ready.
Gravity a bit of team damage, puts it into a 2-on-3, favoring Na'Vi, but is it? That bomb is down. Hard part done.
The kit is on bit and it.
Oh, at range, Maka using that new box angle to pull us into a 2-on-2. Not looking too comfortable is Imma and Bit.
Never mind, it's on Imma.
Peaks Paul. Gravity's got to back his aim there. Committed to the position. Didn't stand a chance versus that headhunter. And the pre-aim, they know where he's at. Maka's got to hit both of these shots. He's going to get overwhelmed. No, he isn't. Needs a bolt. Can't find it. Na'Vi close it down. Imma with an impactful clutch. And that's game.
Now, Gravity's already disconnected from the server. Knew that one was coming through. Maka did what he could to keep them in it. But this will be Na'Vi surging forward in Group D. They'll be taking on the Mongols for a spot in the playoffs.
And naturally, things have to be as entertaining as humanly possible, which is why we're at the Esports World Cup. This Counter-Strike has heated up here on day 1 for Na'Vi. Getting a little close there for 3D Max. Yeah, this isn't the start you wanted in best of ones, but it's the one you got. Now you've got to deal that hand you've been dealt. I'm going to welcome you back to the desk. I'm Dupree in the middle. I got Pimp down the end. My name's Trace Aranthus, or you might know me as Stunna. But for Na'Vi, good hard-fought battle here. Nice litmus test to see which Na'Vi we're going to get coming into the EWC 2026. And what we've got is the result of them winning.
I would say it's an acceptable start for Na'Vi coming into this season, right? You know, for the vast majority of the game, they looked in control. You know, it got a little bit itchy on when they turned their attention to the CT side, where 3D Max did start to claw their way back. But once Na'Vi still, you know, got the money under control and salvaged the last situation they could, they panned out. And I think it's good to see that Na'Vi comes into the season, you know, playing still with the fundamentals, still playing with the rotations, and still playing around their strengths, which we have seen them playing on Banana in this given game, but also turning their attention, making these diversion calls that EWC is so known for. So overall, I'm satisfied regardless of the scoreline being a little maybe too narrow for the likes of Na'Vi.
Knowing Blade, I think he'll look at this game and, as you said, you know, be okay with the result of the game. You know, a win is a win, especially in a best-of-1 game against the 3D Max, who, in the beginning of the season, online at the very least, showed that they were here to play. I do, however, think that when you look at the second half and some of the rounds that they were losing, you know, playing 4v2s, 3v2s, where a couple of the players got a bit ahead of themselves, you know, sticking around and maybe taking another fight, playing a little bit too overconfident and maybe, I wouldn't say unserious in a way, but playing, you know, as if it wasn't a very important game to win. I think Blade is the type of coach who would, you know, show the players that and be like, listen guys, I know it's the opening game, I know we ended up winning anyway, and I know sometimes you can let a little bit loose, but if we want to be a team that is supposed to win this tournament, we gotta cut out all the mistakes and we gotta be very clinical in the way we approach every single game. For my money, Na'Vi were the better team without a doubt. They played well, but there were a couple of moments in this game where if you play better teams, you will get punished and you will potentially end up risking losing a map like this. So if I'm Blade, I'm happy by the result, but there's a couple of things I want to hone in on.
It's scary close, and I think I can come right back to what you're saying there on that. In the fact that if you are Blade, when you go back and look at this footage, it's time to tighten up, guys. This is probably, you know, you probably got away with one right here in a couple different scenarios and instances as regard to rounds in the game. But yeah, we can do better. This need to do better. This have to do better.
It was still a good performance.
Yeah, because if you do it with it, like they're saying, if you do it bad team, you're gonna lose.
It's a good performance and a good start to the season for them.
It is. So let's take this opportunity here from Alexa B via Freya.
Exactly what we're going to be doing down here on the stage. Congratulations, Alexi. Let's be honest, though. It was pretty in control from you for the vast majority of this game. Things did get a little bit dicey towards the end. Scoreline hits 11-9. Blade calls his last timeout. What's he saying in that moment to kind of calm you guys down?
Yeah, exactly. Calming us down since we knew this round that Maka won shouldn't have happened. We all knew that he was low HP as well, so we kind of just misplayed it. Unfortunately, we didn't have the best economic going into that round on the 11th, but they decided to make a fast play on A. And yeah, I'm happy we played 3A that round and got the crucial entries. And in the end, yeah, some good clutches from us as well, even though we had the man advantage in those rounds. Yeah, solid game.
Wonderful. And Makaze, both looking incredibly solid in the server today. Do you think they missed playing officials? Because it's been a while since we've seen you in the server.
Yeah, you could feel on the communication that we didn't play an official for a while. It was a pretty hectic at times compared to, you know, some of the practices you play on bootcamp where it tends to be more chill. But yeah, they played very good individually, and we all saw it.
I imagine there's more than just you deciding what events you're going to be attending, how long you're taking these kind of prolonged breaks for, right? Because you're one of the teams that have had a bit more time away from officials after the Cologne major. What benefits do you see to having a little bit more time, maybe to boot camp, just away from those officials?
I mean, we've been a team for a long time now, so just, you know, spending some time, firstly, like on vacation, then going into a long boot camp and not rushing things. We tried to analyze, we tried to do our best in order to, you know, step even one step further on this season. But yeah, the opening game is always the hardest, and I'm glad we managed to win it since it was a best of one. But you know, there is still a long way to go here and a lot of tournaments this season, so we need to be ready.
Things can certainly get a bit chaotic in these best of ones. We've seen that happen already here at EWC. Just one more question, throwing it back to the major. Of course, we saw the disappointment of you guys not making through to the playoffs with that. How do you harness that as an in-game leader and
we should
use
be
that
watching
as fuel, as motivation for the guys coming into the new season?
I mean, that's the only thing you need to do. You know, we were deeply disappointed considering that we came into the major with good form, or at least that's what everyone thought, and we even had a boot camp. Everything was there for us to, you know, have our chances, but in the end we couldn't you know, come over the finish line, and that's what happens, and you need to, you know, build the motivation off of that.
I see what you did there, the finish line. Nice one, Alexi. And a nice one from Na'Vi, indeed. 1-0 up here in Paris.
Yeah, Na'Vi, Alexi B, hell, it's a wonderful thing they've got going on over there, ain't it, Jacob? That's because Wonderful showing up in spades for this side of Na'Vi.
Yeah, you could say so. I think Emma had a great performance as well. You know, a couple of times in this game, he was very vital and very aggressive, as you like to see Emma play as well. So overall, I think, as Alexi B said, a solid game of Counter-Strike. They didn't really teach us anything new. We didn't really see anything, but that's kind of what you expect. It's a best of one game. So, you know, temper expectations. Be happy that Na'Vi won, and hopefully we get to see them move deeper and deeper and deeper into the tournament.
Yeah.
So you're saying we didn't necessarily... Sorry, Dupree. You're saying we didn't necessarily learn anything from the fight on Banana that Na'Vi almost won in round 10, where Wonderful ended up at the end of the very end of the round. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm just talking about the...
Because I thought that's what you wanted to talk about. My bad.
No, it's not really... I think he said it himself, right? You know, it's the first game of the season. You know, there's probably a lot of jitters and a lot of thoughts going through their head. And I think it was just important for Na'Vi to be looking into the case now that they needed to salvage what they couldn't from the major, right? They needed to stop the bleeding and not continue the downwards trend of not, you know, perform, because they did have a good start to the season. So, yeah, a good win for them. But, I mean, like, if you turn your attention to 3D Max, you know, it's stability that I've been missing, right? It's the things that, you know, the CT size has just been way too bad, you know, and then it was very easy to see that Na'Vi just really figured out how to punish it, and you know, I think it really comes to close into round 10, where I do think that really comes to show where some of the issues that 3D Max is just really putting it in, and it's actually, the setup here is actually pretty good. I think Maka actually gets the first one here, which is good, and the setup is there to back it up, and I think Gravity almost loses this frag out, but this is what bothers me, right? The fact that Na'Vi just walks back. You have Curse just standing in an off angle in the middle of nowhere. As soon as he dies, Misura is in deep shit, and he has to salvage everything. If he doesn't get like a triple kill here, he's literally in the case where they can't win the round, and that gives Bit the space to walk around to the side and actually gets this double kill. He almost brings them back in this situation, and it's the connections between the sides that I saw from 3D Max that is not working together. It is the connections that what we've just achieved on Banana. How do we then approach the late round? What Curse is doing is literally just throwing the round away, and luckily for them, Lucky does actually manage to salvage back, but it's these type of things that they need to work on.
Quite impressive that you can play a 5v3 CT side on Inferno and lose map control like they did right here, and that's a great example for 3D Max. If anything, it's also a clear evidence of two different levels of Counter-Strike. I think, again, when you look at 3D Max, you're looking at a team where expectations should be that they are maybe a top 15 team, you know, that they maybe qualify for the major, and if they're good, they make it to stage 2, whereas for Na'Vi, you heard Alexi B, right? They've had a long boot camp, a slow build up to this season, came into the major in good form. We're one of the few teams to win a trophy outside of Vitality as well. So the expectations for Na'Vi is that they're winning trophies, you know, or at least being in the grand finals or in the playoff every single time. So I think at the end of the day, we got a game here where, you know, throughout the day so far, I think a lot of the games have been closer than we expected. This was exactly as close as I expected. Na'Vi being the better team without a doubt, but at times 3D Max showing that they could play Counter-Strike.
I mean, just in relevance to round 10.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, right? Looking at the graphic right now, that's what I'm talking about. If you're a team that's supposed to be top 15, then you can't have stats like this, you know. If you're sitting at a 45% CT round win and you're looking for stability, that's probably where you're going to be looking first. Like, that's where you want to put your eggs in the basket. We need to fix our CT sides. And this is just like, this is overall. This is just not Inferno. And I believe that Inferno is the third best CT side outside of Cash and does too. So, you know, it's a grim looking thing for 3D Max. You know, if they want to be finding that stability, trying to improve, they need to be working on the CT sides, because that's where I think they have the biggest issue, because the T sides today against Na'Vi, it looked okay, right? They did manage to claw their way back, but not when they have CT sides. Like, this is not going to happen.
Anything you want to say?
Yeah, sorry, I was on the phone, as you can see, clearly. Yeah, but I think this one can go without saying for the side of this whole matchup. Again, we're in best of ones, right? So now you get to move a little bit away from this tumultuous territory of like, oh, well, yes, 3D Max could come in and do what might even be considered an upset. Would you have called it an upset at this time?
It would have been an upset, you know, if they were to win, especially in a best of one fashion. It wouldn't have been a massive upset. I think 3D Max have shown before that they're capable of playing well against good teams. I think I described them as a team that is often playing up to the level of the opposition. Today, they did that as well, I'd say so. You know, 3D Max weren't necessarily playing bad Counter-Strike. There was just a couple of moments, round 10 being one of them, where it's not mistakes you can allow yourself to make against a team like Na'Vi. Even you said it right, Pete. I think Lucky came in and actually ended up winning the round, but at the end of the day, it cost a lot in terms of the economy. That could have been a round where they survived 4 or 5 players, so they put themselves in a much better position in terms of constantly rebuying and fighting their way back back into the first half. So there's things to work on for 3D Max, but I'm not upset about them losing because I don't consider 3D Max to be a team that's relevant when you talk about teams like Na'Vi, like Falcons, like Vitality for that matter, who we're going to see. 3D Max is a different caliber of a team right now, and for them to be at this tournament is probably the first step.
Yeah, they've taken...
Participation award, is that what they call it?
That they're happy with.
Well, I don't know if we can quite give them that yet. I mean, I guess 0-2...
That's how I feel about being here, you know? I'm just happy to be here.
A participation
like
award
you.
is how you
Just happy
feel,
to be here.
Jacob. Wow, man. I'm looking at the prestige and all the pedigree that comes with winning an Esports World Cup. And I also just want to say it's a great time for us to look at the A brackets. So with that in mind, Jacob, I know we started with the D last time. We'll start with the A this time, which we are on the precipice of 100 Thieves at Vitality. That's me telling you not to tune away from the stream if you're tuning in right now, because Jacob's going to tell you all about Group A.
Yeah, we're gonna save the best for the later. GG How, you know, beating Team Spirit. I don't think anyone saw that coming, to be completely honest, and that's the main takeaway for me. You know, GG How versus Gamer Legion, winner goes into the playoff. That is a massive opportunity tomorrow.
More like GG, how'd they do that?
GG how? Yeah, that was a nice one. I like that one.
Sorry, guys. I'll be
Been here for 9 hours. That's the first one, so
I like that one.
crazy for that.
Give it to him.
Group A, cool. Let's switch it over to B. Let's see how Group B is unfolding. Dupree,
Okay.
I know you like the Group of B.
We got us.
I always had the group, you know, and as you mentioned, like it's like
Have I
Falcons, you know,
switched
they
it yet?
make things work. You know, thankfully,
Yeah.
God, they did things right and made it work. And now they're gonna be facing off against Astralis tomorrow. That's gonna be interesting. And then obviously we've already watched.
This
FaZe
might
have a little bit
actually
of trouble going up against
hurt
the
for
likes of BB
YouTube,
team. So
yes,
right now, you
if
know,
I can.
them going against Legacy, you know, it's gonna be open for everyone's taking.
I feel like it's the one group where everything makes sense, you know. There's not been a
Right
single
now, yes.
upset right here. Everything makes sense. You look at the lower bracket, makes sense. You look at the upper bracket, makes sense. Falcons will beat Astralis. Legacy will most likely beat FaZe Clan, and everyone's happy.
Yeah, and that's why we
Apart from
switched.
the FaZe Clan fans.
Yeah, aside from those fans, of course. Shout out to them. Okay, so here we go. I said we were on the precipice of a really cool matchup. We've been talking about it all day long.
Can't
It's
wait.
Team Vitality versus the 100 Thieves. Why are the 100 Thieves? Just name their whole lineup. They're all your friends.
Right now, okay, so as a coach, we have Glaive, then we have Legend, Rain, we have Poi, we have Sira, he's a talent coming out of Denmark, then obviously we also have Device, and then let's not forget the mastermind of Gismi, you know, like, you know, he's on the talking cards for everyone right now. Rightfully so, I think he's impressed everyone, so I'm excited to see what can happen in the best of one against Vitality.
Well, it's going to be a quick one. Anyway, Group D, you know. Na'Vi, 3D Max, we just saw that unfold. The Mongols had a pretty clear-cut victory on Mirage against Magic. I'm curious to the
Moran
matchup.
can
I
kill
think the
my
Mongols
thing.
are being, again, slept on a little bit. They're so much better than we
Just
give them
so
credit
that
for. I don't know what it
we
is
can
after
just
Central
stick
left,
to
but
my
they constantly manage to
thing.
exceed expectations. So
Somehow.
that best of three, Na'Vi versus the Mongols, I find that quite intriguing, Trace.
Yeah, over on that B stream, Wildcard Furia, that's what's up coming up next. Vitality 100 Thieves for us, and also a little bit of a break so that we can kind of wet our whistle over here and get ready to jump back into the server. If you can imagine it, it's the Esports World Cup 2026. Counter-Strike 2
And it
all
ate a little
week.
bit, so-
Next week, too. We'll be right back after this.
I have it muted because it's That's probably a copyright thingy. Okay, hang on, I'm gonna take this window right here. Oops. That's why I hit the window. Now I want to hit the window. Then I don't actually want to join. I'm already co-streaming. But I want to be co-streaming, so sorry.
For now, smoke's going out, everyone running through. He's fallen, of course, to find himself 2-3 actually quick kills. Nemanja with the trade, but that is all Wildcard will get as of now. Bomb being planted by Hex, and it will be secured.
Such a deep CT smoke. I mean, it really put Wildcard in the position where they couldn't comfortably clear any of the angles, and Fallen got the best of it. From the coffins, taps away at 3 heads.
Yeah, as I didn't hear what I
Still a
said.
chance to try
Well, we're
to
gonna
get
coach
more
stream
damage
this real
done.
quick. Oh,
Rotations coming in, all on the site. Fallen does some more damage. Hex
wait.
shot in the head, but doubles up for himself.
If it's not
and
over
now,
here.
a 1-on-2, 18 points of health, a doable situation. Smoke
I
goes
can't see
down
this.
right by that bomb, but no kid in play for the CTs to try to stick this bomb. Moldoy has to do it now, has to do it here, but Hex gets tapped through the smoke, and I do believe there's just enough time for the bomb to get defused.
Wow.
Ooh, that was a close one. That was a close one.
I was staring at the lines moving. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe. And honestly, just getting it across the board too, and I think surviving on 12 HP, trying to stick it. Hex just one bullet away from securing that opening pistol, but nonetheless, it was good. We saw some ground being made up by the Glocks later on after Fallen obviously got that initial burst.
That's what you...
Yeah, I mean, it could have been a very different round if Hex either had a little bit more HP or just a little bit more bullets in his gun. It
We'll watch.
could have went either way.
Well,
but
we're not
the
gonna
way
watch
it
this
went
fully,
is
but
with
we're gonna
Furia
watch
on top,
this.
and
So,
now,
or the
as they have a comfortable
so
line
we're
to this
gonna
round,
watch
it
100
is
Thieves versus
stacked up
Vitality.
against the force buy of Wildcard. Tech9's Galil's, again, decent utility, definitely prioritizing that within this, and an Inferno, a map that you'd like your utility. You'd like to make the CTs question your positioning, really keep them on their toes at all time. A stack up in the apartments, that's where the pressure's going to be, and that's where Yuri needs to find impact early on. Plenty of teammates around him, including Molodor, who's going to refresh that smoke, but the timing couldn't be worse. It's still Yuri to easily collect his kills. Molodor chimes in for one as well. Nemanja and MHL, the 2 Europeans on the North American squad. For all that remains, Galil done. It'd be nice to do a little bit of bothering to the economy of the CT side early on. It might not be in the cards for them in the time being.
Fallen almost got timing there, but Ted's always on a swivel, and that's the mind of a veteran. Never dedicate yourself to one line of sight. And he does. Checks his back, finds a double, secures the round, and flawless round 2 there from Furia. And, well, the money's hurting here for NA.
Well, definitely really good to keep all those guns alive on the side of Furia. You know what I mean? You had a full investment. If you dropped more than 2 guns in that situation, you'd hit yourself in a pretty bad spot early on. But considering you're able to keep everything into the next round, even upgrade one of those SMGs into a Galil, honestly could not have gone better. And now pistols for Wildcard as they forced last time, so the money, it's not great. Crippling debt, if you will.
I mean, with the money Furia have stacked up, even if they lose a player or two and the MP9 still gets some kills, we could quite easily see an op being brought out here on towards the 4th round. But before we get that far, Wildcard to maybe find a bomb plant at a bare minimum here to have something maybe write home about, as Malde taking a fight, and it's actually Nemanja with the deal, gets the trade kill. But for how much longer can they remain alive, as Queserado finds himself a quick double, and it seems like Wildcards as kind of signed themselves not finding a bomb plant.
Yeah, their own death certificate signed. Greg at least had a chance to do some damage with the M4 there, but could not fall. Only one person end up losing their life in the previous round for Furia, which is Molodor, so it's a perfect excuse to pick up the op, and I'm sure he's not complaining too much about that.
No.
It's good to hear him doing better, you know? Saw on social media that his eye was all messed up. Felt bad for the guy, but seems to be all right according to Fallen.
I mean, we'll see how much it really affects him, but I'm going to say he's at 99% anyway, so...
He's one of the best operators in the world. Even if he's not at 100%, he's still going to be better than most people.
That is very, very true, and maybe what little advantage Wildcard could have taken advantage of seem like it'll really affect him too much in the grand scheme of things. Deep nade in towards Banana, and it's gonna hurt. Sexy Eye tagged down to 48. Rest peppered a little bit here and there as Furia continue to just deny access across all sites.
He pretty
Slow start for Wildcard.
I
No
don't watch
progress
this.
made much
Alright,
of
2
anywhere,
minutes.
but they will start
Yeah,
to
2 minutes
refocus
till
themselves up Banana.
we can watch 100
Take
Thieves.
concise, and they want to go straight into this B bomb site. Fallen able to spray one through the smoke. Kinder tagged up through Coffin.
Wait, we're even
Still has his
watching it
lane,
on
doesn't
the
quite spot 60 out through that smoke.
main broadcast, but I like
bomb site
watching
will be
it.
given
I
up
actually like watching it like this.
to Wildcard. K-Serato's boost. The timing could be perfect here, but he actually falls. I'm not sure if a sound cue was fully made. Seems that 60's aware of the situation. And Fury has still a second to wait before the backstab of Yuri comes in through Banana.
Oh, if you throw it backside. I don't know who
Those
goes.
plant positions doubled up both sides for Wildcard.
I guess just gonna
Fury
save.
hesitant to get active, but a Molotov onto the site that does miss means that Furia gonna call themselves out, call for the save. Definitely can't blame them. Trying to retake the B bomb site is one of the scariest things you could do in this game, and Maldo is still doing some economic damage. So even though the round given up, it seems that the pincer to eliminate all the rifles is absolutely perfection. Not a single player surviving for Wildcard, although the round is still being won.
That one's going to be costly. Success. Also, nearly everyone lives there. As Furia down to only a measly 2-round lead. The money's still flourishing. Nonetheless, they can definitely fall back onto it. Not really stress and strain themselves too much. Fallen, just this consistent opening kill, and he is just the wall of defense for this B site right now.
A really important kill there, because if he falls back and doesn't give up anything, Kinder eventually goes down. It's a completely different situation for that retake. You're probably not even thinking that much about going for it. Maybe you're still trying to get the fallback kills, but you'd be a lot less aggressive about it.
Yeah.
Early stages in the 5th round. Does see more of a focus towards the upper mid position. Wanting to sneak up towards brackets. A bit of utility thrown in to allow a push and a peek. And Amanya, aggressive towards the arches already. Nade not doing enough damage to really stop any sort of presence. But a great CT setup. 60 immediately eliminates the IGL. K-Serrato able to find one for himself. Trades back and forth. Does leave us into an even 3-on-3. Romano still hasn't even moved.
Watch this round.
Yet. Bomb gets planted.
200 Thieves
At
versus
least tapped,
Penalty.
and now you
That's
see
what
the
my
rotation
stream title
coming
is.
in.
I wasn't gonna change everything, just to watch
Gets
this
the kid
for
there, a kill
2
onto
seconds.
Hex, make that 2, Nemanja next to go, and 60. His impact important, but he's gonna need to get an ace in this round if he wants it. 4 kills already. 60 versus Moldoy. An ace that he could speak on for the rest of his career, but he runs out of bullets, and Moldoy swings with the pistol so close, yet so far away, and the young star able to steal one for his team.
And you alluded earlier. Call his name to get into a site, make some space, get some kills. Just, you know, distract even. But he does it better. Gets a 4K, nearly the ace, nearly clutching it up for a wild card, but falling just short, just like the magazine itself, just running out a little too early there as Furia claim back that 3-round lead. And, well, it's going to be a pause for wildcard as they discuss what's next in line for them.
I mean, that was a really good and concise hit onto the bomb site. Obviously, once you get into the retake, Kinder hitting some great shots, just kind of picking apart the defense. They weren't necessarily set up in spots to get those trade kills, which is the biggest problem, but also they didn't have time to set up. The bomb just got planted. They're not expecting Kinder to already be pushed up lane. And you know what? I know we've been praising Wildcard a lot. It's an NA desk that we have here on the B stream, and you know, we gotta represent, but I do mean what I said about 60's tenure within Complexity, and even his time on Marsborn after Complexity.
Yeah.
The fact that he is just able to kind of go headstrong wherever he wants and take on whatever fight he feels comfortable doing is a really important factor, especially in North America, where you don't have a lot of riflers that are comfortable to just give up their life to try to put the team in a better position. 60, again, say his name, and he appears first to get a kill in the round.
Not like he's playing against a bunch of nobodies. This is Furia, 3rd in the world currently, and he's hanging around with the best of them. So, you know, all NA hope isn't gone. It's just all inside of one man as of right now. Nemanja, MHL getting kills, so maybe themselves having to chime in a little bit. K-Serrano phasing through the smoke, but holding, waiting for that pop flash and perfectly timed. He actually gets flashed from it, and Wrecked finds his first kill in the match, the Tech-9.
MHL getting a team kill onto Hex could spill doom, but at least the position still powerful, aggressive. Wreck distracts with the Tech-9, Nemanja with the backline, M4 able to rip a head apart. And it is just Yuri. Obviously the save is going to come in here. Wildcard find themselves 2 rounds in their favor now.
Getting a little vocal.
That was good. I mean, it was a lesser buy. It was aggression right off the bat, and the change of pace is definitely going to be the way that Wildcard can try to put themselves in a better position. You know, when you're a team like Wildcard going up against Furia, you need to do more of the gimmicky stuff. You need to just try to catch your opponent off with certain things they're not going to expect. And if you can just capitalize off of aggression, like 60 did spray through the smoke, that's a funny team kill. You got to do that every time. And you know what? That's what they did, and it worked.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta slow down some big names like Fallen and K-Serrano, both 7-3 right now, and it's a big ask for, you know, an NA squad like this who, you know, isn't really struggling, but I don't say is in their peak form just yet. There's still a lot to be desired, and right now, a lot is to be desired of MHL and that op currently 0-5 as he's looking to break that streak.
Well, the op that might feel the presence first is Molodor. Okay, he gets sprayed down from the boost up of Wreck. I wasn't even aware that the position was possible. A good nade. Does do a bit, around 90 damage collectively through 2 Ts. But again, player advantage for Wildcard. This is what you need. You need to pick apart the defense on the CT side of Inferno because you need to try to make them go for those retakes where they're either going to save because it's too difficult to retake, or they're going to throw their guns away because, again, it's too difficult to retake.
I'll say Furia is looking pretty pinpoint accurate with their utility as of right now. Everyone taking some sort of damage other than Hex, whether it be from nades or mollies. Currently, no real weapon damage, just the utility, which obviously on a map like this, utility damage is about 50% of the damage, I feel like sometimes. And there we go, Wreck taking a little more. He's down to 20. So quite easily can fall victim to a long-range MP9.
They're doing a great job to keep the players on B, though. This is perfectly set up for a bracket hit. Only Yuri standing alone in the pit. Gonna know the presence is coming. Smoke does drop in front of his feet. Able to spray down 1. Doubles up onto Hex. Yuri has done everything right now. This is everything and more that his team could have possibly asked for as the T's get the plant down. MHL trained on his position as he falls back. There is Wreck on low HP on the site. Fury in a great position to try to go for this retake. Just keep distracting while the moto push comes in. Wreck, even though on low HP, does find some impact, and now it's all up to MHL. Op train to the spot. Bomb not planted for him. Save is definitely the best call he can go for. Keep that op alive. The money isn't great on the side of Wildcard. Great execution to get onto the bomb site. Great execution to pull the rotations away from A and make them stack up on B, but at the end of the day, I mean, the retake capabilities of Furia just completely overwhelming and overpowering Wildcard.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not for lack of trying. We're seeing Wrecked. He's starting to get his foot in the door here, starting to make some progress, great progress right there. And I mean, once he can get himself there, then you just have to, you know, maybe have your offer follow up. And you know, between Wrecked and CXI, I feel like there's enough firepower to get onto the site. It's, again, those post plants that are going to be a little more concerning.
Ender taking a little bit of chip damage. Beauty of Inferno.
Okay, I've been on.
Every round is throw as much utility at the wall and hope for the best.
Okay, going.
Usually it works.
To the chat.
It works for one of the teams.
Very much so.
Good bracket control. Out for Wildcard. Furia playing off of it.
I'm just
I think that's smart. Don't want to give up any of the early kills.
What the 100th Thieves game is
know
going to
that
start.
the players on this T side are going to be a bit more aggressive. Maybe try to counteract the tactical difference. Very respectfully.
Tactical or skill?
Oh, tactical, come on.
Oh, nice.
Maybe there's a skill difference there. I mean, again, one of the best offers in the world, not going to miss the easy shots. That completely stalls out Wildcard. 45 seconds left. Pretty much fully committed towards his A bomb site. No control elsewhere. Nade comes down, completely destroys MHL and Rec. And as they push forward, K Serrato, he's gonna be good to tap away ahead, make that 2. Although damage done back through the wall, Nemanja not ready for the player boosted up top, and neither is Hex. Trying to trade, a good attempt, but Yuri way too good for that.
At this point, I'm waiting for Wildcard to maybe string a few rounds together just so I can hear Hext yelling at this point. And that's a sign that you're moving in the right direction when Hext is getting loud. But right now it is eerily silent over there. There's some fist bumps, there's some high fives, but there is generally no vocal, uproar from them.
I mean, it's still early days. There's still time in the half to at least make this competitive. Although I will say MHL being 0-6 is not a great start for them.
It's not, especially on to this bye where he's, dabbling in the 007 department. Tech9's P250s in the Glock, and Yukendar finds the first one on Nemanja. Maybe looking for a little more, and he does. Wrecked out of the round as well, and that is a quick burst of kills from Furia once more. Fallen chimes in for his one, because why wouldn't he be good for at least one more?
MHL and Hex both so uncomfortable. Obviously, the Pistols have a hard time competing against sprays through the smoke, especially when you're all lined up. Big barrel fish waiting to get shot.
We've been kind of harping on MHL, but Hex not really doing monumentally better either. Kind of a guy that you would lean on a little bit, maybe to help support CXCI and Rex, but he himself only with a pair of kills currently as we come into the 10th round. MHL 0-7, Hex 2-9. Combined, it's not looking good early on in this first half.
It's definitely not looking good for the side of Wildcard, but ultimately expected for the side. I mean, you're going against a team that just made the final of the major.
Yeah.
And Furia is...
It's a big ass, like I said.
Furia has so much weighing on this season, like not only in terms of just trying to recover from the slip that happened mid-season, but also Fallen's retirement. You sound like a broken record saying it because everyone talks about it, but this is the equivalent of a Wayne Gretzky-esque retirement.
You want to end on a high note.
Yeah, I mean, he's such
when you're playing with the boys,
important player. Wayne Gretzky might not be the best comparison, but it's one of the most tenured players, one of the most beloved players retiring and moving away
from... a whole country knowing your name.
Yeah,
and then the whole, I would say at this point, the whole scene knows who you are, and then some.
Well, Maladoy, the young pupil below the aforementioned Fallen, does open up the round once more. Falls back, awaits the push elsewhere. Rec going a little bit too fast for that smoke to bloom. So Maladoy able to pick apart the lane push quite easily, and it's stalled out Wildcard once more. K Serrato back in Ninja, headshot, back of the head of Nemanja, couldn't even see it coming, and it leaves it all up to MHL. It's a clean sweep for Furia, 8-2.
I will say, outside of, obviously the individual's performance of Furia, they do a fantastic job of just...
to apply themselves like Device. Do it like Device, they might even say.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people tried to copy what he was doing, and I even sometimes went down and sat together with him or with my coach Sonic at that time watching, like, because there was a point where I had to do a little bit of standing open, and we watched the demo together, and we were like, how does he have 25 kills? He's doing nothing, but he's just always in the right spot. He hits the easy shots. He's never been like the flashy player or anything, but he's just always been the guy that seems to be in the right spot and always been a very good team at offering utility and everything.
I thought we were going here. like career session.
The cool
So
thing about
I
that
was
is that I'm going to say something
expecting
that all the Twitch chat and Reddit is going to go crazy about
They
right
already
now,
love
you know.
you,
No,
so.
but it's a lack of comprehending. It's a lack of brain cells. I think that's the issue. Now,
So,
Cyber
like,
has
everyone was
obviously
getting
been the
ready
best player in
to-
the world before. He's in contention to still be it. I think Device have inspired a whole lot of more people with the way he's been AWP. Because people look at Cyber and they're like, I can't replicate that. You know, that's just a sixth sense for the game. That's a different level of Counter-Strike. Whereas people looked at Device and they were like, his positioning, the way that he's always making the right decision, the way he's always taking the shot, falling back, taking another shot, falling back. That's inspirational stuff because people can relate to it. People look at Device being like, I can do that. Whereas people look at Cyber and be like, that's just out of my world, you know. So I think in terms of inspiration, Device has probably had a greater impact on a lot of the oppos you see nowadays than Cyber's having.
And you bring up a great point there that we cannot all be Zywoo. I think we can go walk away from this one with that and also hear from Apex at the same time.
The Bees are well and truly in the building. I've got Apex standing by for EWC, of course, in your home country as well. You've talked about how important EWC is for Vitality as an organization. Of course, we've got this beautiful setup here as well. But for you, it being in your home country, it's not often we get a tournament in France. So how much pressure does that add?
Well, yeah, I didn't think that after the major in Paris, we will have another one, to be honest. So, of course, the pressure will be high, but for me, just I don't think about that for too much for now. Just the group stage, not that many people can see us. Maybe further, I will think about it. For now, I just want us to get back to a good level because it's been 2 months that we've been struggling a bit more than usual. That's normal, that's a competition, but yeah, let's see how we can change that.
I don't want to throw it too much back to the major, but I've got to address the emotions that we saw coming out of you guys, right? It was a huge disappointment for you. I don't think I've seen you, that emotional for some time, right? Because of the success of Vitality. How do you harness that in the off season to make sure that you can use that to grow and get back to the form?
Well, it was like a year and a half that we didn't have this problem because we won 2 majors. We had really good vacation after that. It was the easiest vacation ever, so we didn't have to think too much about problems, etc. because we were like ready and playing pretty well. So now, yeah, I think that we all have regrets about what happened at the major, what happened about our preparation in a way. So we really want to have like a redemption and show that we can still be the best. And so yeah, it's step by step, but we know we can do it. You just having the right mentality at that moment, and but we're ready for it.
I just want to ask about the extra circumstances going into this season as well. We've obviously heard JL's going to be coming in to replace both you and Mezzy during this season. But does that add more pressure to the events where you have your full 5 to actually be getting some of those wins and getting trophies back in your cabinet?
In a way, yeah, in a way, no. We had this discussion with the team because it was needed. We needed to have this kind of discussion. And what went out from that is that, of course, we all wish that we would have played together, but that's just the circumstances. That's the first time in my 20 years of Counter-Strike that I take my personal life over my professional life. And it has to happen in this occasion. I know it's not easy for the team, but we have to accept that and be sure that we will give our really best for the next few events that we are together. I'm not sure it add more pressure. It just have like we have to be honest with each other about how things will go and how things will go if we don't do well or if we win or whatever. So we had good discussion about that, and I think that for me that was the most important.
And then final question, 100 Thieves, your first opponent here in a best of 1. There's some other veterans on the other side of the server waiting for you. Tell me about the prospect of playing up against the likes of Rain and Device and also a British in-game leader. How do you feel about that?
I'm feeling fine, to be honest. The only bad stuff is best of 1, and we all know best of 1 is tough. So like Spirit losing to GGO, like where I don't think they would have lost in best of 3. I thought we were like out of best of 1s because stage of the major changed it, but yeah, EWC came out and said, yeah, let's play best of 1s. So yeah, I mean, we also had to accept that and be sure that we start straight into the game well. But yeah, the opponent, whoever we will play, it will be tough no matter what with the best of 1. They are upcoming team. They played good online against Halcons. They went through the open qualifier here, so they deserve the spot. No, it's about us to show up today and see how we can play.
By the way, I think you're going to have a lot of fans cheering for you at stage 2 today. Thank you so much for your time, Apex. Good luck.
Yeah, Apex had to say post-Cologne, I don't think we ever showed good face. And I would like to say that I think EWC is a great place for them to reestablish that sort of setting that they've put out here in the big world of Counter-Strike.
Yeah, they have to, right? You know, this is where the redemption start that he mentioned himself. So for Vitality to have a blunder here and drop into the lower bracket, that would be horrible for them. So obviously a win here it's extremely needed.
Nuke it is.
Nuke it is. Goes without saying that regardless of how you look at this game, Vitality are the heavy favorites. I will say though that the Thieves have played Nuke quite a lot as of recently. They beat BC Game on Nuke as well. Gives me with the 1v3 clutch. So they're coming in with a bit of a most recent confidence boost.
Let's play the game, Jacob.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Let's do it right now.
Let's get the party started then. Looking pacey from the Thieves. Charging straight to the vets. They're up, down. Bomb needs to go with it, but Rain loses it. Flamesy's taking his head off. Bomb still committed down.
Drops it here.
Yeah, an opportunity versus Gizmy. Looks like he's not ready for... Ooh,
Yeah,
the tracking not there from Robs. Gizmy gets a freebie.
He fought instead of like chase in a vent. This could have been a 5v5.
Find that headshot. Device is stalking his prey. Zywoo makes good headway into the site. It's going to make it a harder fight on the Glock. Or not. Actually, very comfortable for Device. Flamesy, 2 kills deep into the pistol on the bomb with support from Decon. They know he's off it, and wow, nice headshot provided. Looking good for this one. What an ambitious pistol. I say that as a 1v3 goes 1v. What? Nearly hit Gizmy.
No kid, no chance.
Oh, that would have been nice if he hit the immediate reaction shot, but that's going to be 100 Thieves starting strong in the best of one.
Messi is going to get out of there. Had Kevlar to hold on to as well. One more kill, he would have been in M4 territory, but could still bring out a Famus. And yeah, pacey out of the Gizmy-led team. Obviously the newest addition, taking the reins over from Rain. And having Glaive behind you as a coach as well. That's probably not a bad start. Obviously this is Glaive's first foray into the coaching world. See what it has to offer.
And good to see Dev here back on our screens.
It is going to be a force buy for Vitality. CT side. So scouts out in the mix.
Wow. I mean, I didn't know that Rain was capable of getting cooler, but he has invested into a UMP. What a hipster. Okay. What a cool guy.
Well, we'll see if he can make it rain here in lobby. It's him and Poi with the bomb.
And he knows they're going to have Kevlar, or likely. A bit more armor penetration on that SMG.
Gizmy's across, but he's on his own. So it's unlikely that this will be the finish down towards B, unless they want to drop in another wall. The focus on, will this force over rotations? Nobody down towards B just yet for Vitality as we turn this into an A split.
Yeah, looks diligent. Zywoo in heaven with that scout. Has connected one bullet. Flamesy versus Rain in lobby. Oh, wow. Apex goes overlooked. He's done very well. The output in combination with the flames from Mezzy. Flamesy chips in and they disappear.
Got a bit of noise coming out of the camp here today. We are in Paris, France, and while Vitality, Apex and Zywoo, you can understand exactly why we had that much noise. It was nothing like that for the 3D Max game we just had going.
No.
And there's Vitality jerseys throughout. If you don't have one, we're right next to the merch stand, so you can go pick one up if you're liking what you're seeing. But yeah, this was very direct. Essentially, what's being called here, Gizmy gets across to secret, sees that nobody else on the stairs is secret, and is assuming that they've rotated some players down towards B. They hadn't. They set up the topside stack. So Gizmy called them blindly, but assumed that they had forced rotations and respect with the util. This looks like it is going to be top Poppy off of a second timing while he's fading.
Mezzy's so ready for this. He saved his incendiary just for this reaction. Here they come, and now through the flames they have to brave. Rain spamming a hunting Flamesy. Apex already finding Poi. And oh, no bullets. Awkward reloading in the open, and Mezzy swings on in to ensure this one's a cleanie. Just Rain with 9 HP. Good luck, have fun.
Okay, well, we will call this 3-1 in about 2 minutes time.
Yeah.
We'll fast forward, hopefully, for what is going to be an eco coming up next. You have 100 Thieves who are all feeling a bit hot at the moment, right? Obviously, that gauntlet they ran on the final day of the Open qualifier, last chance qualifier, whatever you want to call it, 64 teams on land battling for 4 spots here at the Esports World Cup. and they're one of those 4. Now, an organization that wants to be at the majors, right? An org like 100 Thieves, they're meant to be a premier org. So that is what this is about, right? They've pieced together this roster. They brought in Gizmy. Rain threw that aside. He said he's too chill of a personality, where Gizmy, he will tell you if you missed an aid. So it's a team that has a green leader. And I see the conversations around Luminosity, like, haha, Luminosity, you left the in-game leader who made this team. Because it's like, well, Gizmy was at Monty for a while, right? And it was that complexion of players at that event that put the spotlight on them. So I think Gizmy's got the better end of the deal. How you get to play with Rain and Device. Poi, I think, is fantastic. Sierra has his moments, but this is the eco. So first kill comes in for Apex. The rest should follow quite swiftly. And then we can get into the guns. For those who missed the BCG game, people haven't been able to leave Gizmy's name out of their mouth, right? That 1v3 clutch.
The most crazy.
I just saw Poi as well.
Yeah.
And I was asking about, he had the most bullshit death in that map to Mzenia through a smoke. And I asked him, like, did you do anything? Did you make it? And he's like, nah, he just shot. Like, okay, well, it's a game that I'm sure they'll remember though, right? Poi and Sierra, this is the type of Counter-Strike they want to be playing. This is the best of 1 against Vitality, one of the absolute best teams in the world, who started the season online with a loss to Liquid.
Yeah, I always find it curious, and I think Rain did in his interview say the same, when teams say they'd rather play top teams like Vitality than you know, the LCQ mixed bag of chaos. But I suppose it does make sense as far as a game they're used to playing.
And we are back in play right now, so there you go. The ramp pop.
Hang on. Props has stood his ground for 1, maybe even a second. No, Rain pulls, it stabilizes into a 4-on-4 with ramp now lost.
It's a rotation. Down to B. Flames is here.
It's a good position, tucked on Astralis.
Oh, baited in.
Dropped in, yeah.
Baited in.
Device is going to completely overlook this. The double kill was there for the taking, but it's Apex that steals it away. Finds Rain and Poi in quick succession, putting it all onto Gizmy late yard.
Yeah, and this one is tough, right? Because if you Gizmy, you're meant to be here to mop up the mess, right? You're meant to capitalize while they're so, but your teammate's just been blown out of the water there. So very well done with the rotation for Vitality. Here's a kill.
Okay.
That's 55 seconds.
We're not doing another Gizmy nuke clutch, are we, so soon? Plenty of time to work, but Zywoo is AWPing his exit of these double doors. It seems like a perfect, almost impenetrable setup. Jiggle not going to work out for him. Zywoo puts him down.
All right, well, that was the most competitive round there since the pistol. 3 casualties in that one for Vitality, but still a 4-round stretch without the bomb going down. So Glaive will... Oh, never mind, it's just a pause. It's not Glaive. Might want to be Glaive. Might want to take a time.
He might.
But we'll get the HUD sorted for everybody playing at home. We want to see their beautiful faces on the screen too. Got one more match coming your way this way on the A stream. After this, it's 9Z versus Pain. And then that'll be done with the best of 1. So we'll be into best of 3s there on out. And in case you're not familiar with the format, we've got 32 teams.
Right.
And broken up into 4 groups of 8. 4 teams per group will make it into a single elimination 16-team playoff bracket, which will be kicking off on Wednesday next week. And that'll be best of 3s all the way through until a best of 5 grand final, which we will leave this massive hall we're in and go to the A core, which is where Vitality won the major with Dupree. So see if they can find repeated success. It is going to be a while before we get there. As you can see, headset is off. We're also having the qualms with the HUD as well. So we'll fix a couple of bits and pieces, and then we should be able to get things back underway. Money is not good, but we'll save the conversation. I don't think our voices are going out here in the crowd. So
unless you're really shouting about the money, you should be safe, but regardless.
And we're facing away from them, so they can't even read my lips, but has to just be a light investment.
Yeah.
They get the max loss bonus next round, right? This is win the pistol, lose the follow-up.
All I'm doing, like when I see the 4 on the drop from Vitality, all I can think about is the way that second round went wrong for them. It was a really uncomfortable fight as well for Device. You saw it in that replay where essentially he started to take it a fight and the molly has spread. So now you're in the mud because someone's hitting you in the Kevlar. You can't move out. You've committed to the spray and you just burn to a crisp as a 5-7 peppers you. It was a very uncomfortable way for that second round to transpire.
just to bring everybody where we are in terms of that format I was talking before, Vitality, 100 Thieves, Bait, P-Vision, Foot, Tyloo, Lin Vision, and Mouse, they make up Group C. So I would imagine, say what would be my 4 favorite teams? I would go Vitality and Mouse would be the 2 that I would expect to get through. But then after that, it gets a little bit tricky, right? We had some results earlier today, Foot beating Tyloo, Bait beating P-Vision. So the winner of this will take on Bait. And Mouse will be playing on the secondary stream a bit later today. The winner of that, well, Mouse versus Lin Vision will take on Foot. And they just came off of that bounty win with Spinks getting his first MVP. He was playing some very aggressive Counter-Strike on the CT and T sides, going for openers.
I'm curious, out of, and I know they're not playing each other, but just in this group, Bait and Foot, would you say they're on par, or would you say that there is a clear, more promising squad out of the 2? Because they've both had bursts of, deeper runs.
I'd probably identify there's more individuals in Foot who I think have good output.
Pedigree, yeah, sure.
But I think that Bait... Bait's an interesting one to me because they've constantly been sitting at this level. Obviously, this year started with, Segikawa?
Yeah, that's right.
And then they turned to Segikawa into a Sizzy.
But Sizzy seems legit.
Yeah, and he's only 16, which I think is, when people see him and maybe he has a bad game or makes some bad decisions, they critique him a little bit harshly. I think Sizzy is definitely one for the future. At 16 years of age, already showing some promise.
Yeah.
If he can... The biggest thing with these players is making sure that you're open-minded to learn.
Absolutely.
Which sounds ridiculous, but that's like life, really.
Yeah, but see it, right? Like from the other Segikawa, for example, or the Head Trick before that, there was always, you didn't have that star power. I have seen Sizzy take over games. Obviously, most of the time it's Mirage.
Yes, it's true.
he is that typical 16-year-old, who just grinds the faces, spams Mirage. But I've seen insane performances from him as an individual. So I think maybe, I kind of like what you're saying. I do agree. When I look at Foot as individuals, the only one that really sticks out like a sore thumb, I'm yet to be convinced by Symmetry.
Yeah, exactly, right? But everyone knows a Jugs moment.
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
We saw X-Flat on Heroic. He can be explosive. Demon anchoring is strong. Krebeni can carry in-game leader performances.
Ridiculous things.
They're very aggressive and in your face.
Would you say Krebeni and Gizmi are in a similar category as far as, these new punchy IGLs that can frag?
In terms of the next generation?
That's up there,
yeah,
right?
Because before that we had it was Kixen and...
Go on. Fragging IGL? Maka?
No, because this was around the Paris time, right? So you think about... We're in Paris
like
now.
your Game of Legion,
we're talking about
your
Blast in 2023. Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's where you had your Shui and your Kixen come from.
That's right.
Right? Obviously...
Fragging IGLs are so clutch.
As he would have hoped. Whereas for Kixen... he was on Falcons, and now he's on Aurora with this international project. But yeah, I think that they might be some of the next names.
I don't know who these guys are. I don't watch enough Counter-Strike. Like when I think fragging IGLs, so I go back to, I'll go to Valorant for that, but I always think of like the Valorant and the John and
you lose the core of that team. Well, I was like, well, we gotta start from
what
scratch.
else is a fragging IGL?
We were having our dinner break and we bumped into Team Spirit, who lost in their opening best of 1.
But we're in good spirits.
They did seem like they were in good spirits for a team that lost to a GG How. That's Synopsy, Mini, Satsunito, Bibu, and Asamas.
Yeah, Don Humble, though. Only had a 1.58 rating.
That's it.
But this was, I guess, because a lot of people are talking about this Mounds versus Spirit game back at Bounty. And
what stood out about that?
Well, Donk had a off couple of series, which for me, when I see Donk have an off map, I go, it's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
We're going to get 2 consecutive. I think he had 4 or 5 consecutive maps that were negative KD.
Okay, for the first time, absolutely.
I would assume. Here's a question for you. When do you reckon was the last time Device played against Zywoo?
Ooh, wait. Using my limited brain power, I will think back.
I'm going to look now. We have B-Trams here, but he can't push stuff on air, so he could probably do it for me, but I'll have a look. It can't be that hard.
How long was Deve gone? And when did he leave?
This is it, right? Because you had a couple of moments. You had, it must have been when he was on Astralis.
Yeah.
It can't have been that long ago.
You're going to have to scroll a while because 100 Thieves have played a lot of Counter-Strike.
They have been grinding. That's not that long ago. November last year.
No, that's nothing.
That's just nothing at all. That's when he was on the Astralis roster.
That's right.
Yeah, it was, at that time it was Yabi, Hooksy, Device, Stare, and Magisk.
which was on paper supposed to be a real strong squad.
Yeah, from what I heard, a bit of tension in the team, but not everybody got along so well.
Which, as you know, you can get away with in some sports, but when you're in Counter-Strike,
not in Counter-Strike.
It's just 5 dudes traveling the world together. You better get along.
Yeah.
You really kind of have to.
I think there's some teams who we've seen VP of old. We've seen them operate of the no, this is business and we're working.
That's true.
But that was it. But I think you're only going to get the best out of a Counter-Strike team. You don't have to be best mates.
No.
But when you're there, if you're having a good time, which we're playing a competitive video game.
Yeah.
That is extremely frustrating. Don't get me wrong. We all know how it feels to lose rounds and lose clutches and have bad teammates. But I think that at the end of the day, if you can keep a bit of perspective on it.
Yes.
And you can enjoy the time with the people around you, you're in a good spot. Is Apex looking at us? No, he's not.
No. But that's one of those things as well. I had an interesting conversation with Simple in Atlanta. I just bumped into him and he was kind of, we just had a general chit chat. And one of the things I was trying to kind of instill in him is the power he possesses by being him. Where like, you know, obviously he knows how to play the game to such a high level. He can get frustrated easily when there's misplays because he sees someone doing something wrong. He's like, why would you stupid idiot?
Ever think that?
You stupid idiot.
Ever think that?
Yeah. Why would you ever cross your mind to make that move? And all I said to him was, but imagine if Simple says it doesn't matter, you got it next time. I'm already like, you know, if it doesn't matter to him, it doesn't matter to me. You know, I don't get in my head, I don't fall down the rabbit hole of misery and it can go wrong.
I don't know which event it was at, but there was something that unfolded and I think people online saw Senzu and Simple having a conversation that they perceived to be a disagreement.
Yeah.
But then I think Simple took to what is it, Telegram?
Yeah, no, he's coming. There's a new mature angle to the BC game, Simple.
I think it was fun watching BCG play in that open qualifier. A little bit unfortunate with how the random draw went for that bracket. Obviously, one side was much more stacked than the other. We had Liquid, we had Thieves, we had BCG. There were so many big names in that one portion of the bracket. And look, when you're dealing with that many names and that group, right, we're talking the top 30 to 50 teams in the world. It is hard to go, are the rankings accurate enough or this, that, or the other, but yeah, I think everyone would have loved to see BCG.
But 100T are here to play. They managed to make their way through that LCQ. And so we can get back underway. Looks like everything's been resolved.
So to bring everybody up to speed, in case you just joined us, we had a pistol round victory that was an event dive into a B play out the gates from 100 Thieves. Then they went into an anti-force, took secret control, turned it into a top split, and now we are 4-1 in favor of Vitality up against a partial buy.
I don't know why it keeps blinking.
And nothing's changed for Vitality. They haven't gone, oh, we need to drastically change our positions because we lost at the major to Falcons who won it, and then we lost to Liquid online. The Apex is still Yard.
I think he's still on.
Messi anchoring A. Rops over
we
to
might not have
the rotator. So this is what your expectation is, and that's what
I
you're
have
getting?
the full vision.
Apex has had some keen moments already. 5-3, but 5-7, an assist on that force.
Yeah, and Flamesy on that top lock. Been very efficient with his fragging.
Taking it slow there, hoping to siphon out the util from Vitality to keep their finances a little bit honest in this landslide.
Ooh, Apex in trouble. They've hit him a couple of times, puts him on red health.
Over comes Zywoo. Are they going to split? Split A again?
Now you know the AWP and Apex location. Smoke break, but they're hidden behind the box. A chance perhaps for an element of surprise. Can they smoke walk? They do catch him off guard, but a quick reaction shot puts Gizmy in a grave. One back from Surat. Silent drop from Zywoo, just showing off his movement skills. So as far as Poi's concerned, he must still be heaven.
Problem is the bomb is in a bit of a precarious position right now. They have 20 seconds. These three have to make a move.
Bomb. Not the best flash in the world. Zywoo's actually played this to perfection. He's just up close. I say that his back was turned to Device. They might be able to get another frag out of this. 8 seconds. Surat gets the bomb down. Oh my god, and Robs nearly goes down to the Device Tech 9. Flustered a bit, rushes it. All clean from Mr. Cool.
Got a little bit dicey. So 2 rounds where they've been able to get 3 kills. The bomb goes down in this one, their first plant other than the pistol. But they were sitting pretty with a full buy. So the fact that they're able to, a pretty competitive round there. Hopefully that spells.
Yeah, do some guns.
But no Device AWP.
Sure.
surprised he gets away because you can see the idea, right? Premeditated that move.
I didn't know scope him.
It gets a
He
bit
just
messy,
quick
a little bit
scoped him.
sketchy. That's where you feel that maybe the comms are a little bit sloppy or your read of the situation isn't quite there. So Apex setting up Heaven, they are doing a very passive stance. And we do have another hunt issue again, so bear with us. Flames behind CT vent.
Boy, holding the util. Gives me 2.
Mezzy and Hunt, they are expecting a top pop.
Could be really better position. The Molly CT vent makes life a little bit difficult. Yeah, Rain will remove Flamesy. Mezzy's forward position catches Device. That's important. Double out of Rain. Breaches the top site. And should very well translate. Is there going to be an attempt?
Well, they took so many casualties in the last couple, but they still have a decent amount of cash on all 5 players. They're going to give it a look.
You run the risk of losing all of that. Maybe the Molly enough to repel.
I think you were probably gearing up to go very late in this.
Oh, they are going to threaten it. This is very threatening. Util dump. Double flash. Gizmy's back turned. Apex, there's one. Robs another. Zara and Rain playing around that hot smoke. There's just simply not enough time. You've got to swing, find the frag, and that will be 100 Thieves. Taking this one, Zara goes down to Zywoo Orp. Will he be able to leave with the AK? Doesn't look good.
No chance in the world, okay. Well, at least they take everything away from 100 Thieves as well.
Sure.
So everybody will be able to buy. But,
still no AWP.
Yeah, but clearly not part of the game plan here. Just to top execute. Rain finding the entries. And Glaive taking a timeout. So, first tactical timeout. 400 Thieves. And there is money for a device AWP if they want it. They've gone in with an AK again. This also gives Xtaz an opportunity. And I think it's a... well, the money's not in too much jeopardy right now if you're Vitality. You've got 4 players at 2k plus, and they get 1900 loss, so they'll have guns. So as long as they save 1, they should have a full buy round into the next. But let's lock in on this. What is the call going to be? The timeout has been taken. Is this a pace change? Is this... And what adjustment could Glaive be hoping to make in this moment?
Has tagged Gizmy through credit card. And dunked on to finish. The 2 Frenchmen working in unison to manufacture an opening. Onto the Brit, no less. That's why the French are cheering.
Yeah.
Hang on. Ooh, ooh.
He's aware. Oh, he's
yeah,
in there.
It's done very well. Apex. He spotted Point, but took down Sarah first. 4 on 3. A little bit of territory, Device and Point, amplifying that pressure onto this top site. He's got Zywoo, though, to support him. From Heaven. And that smoke enables him to focus entirely on this fight main. Easy from Mezzy. Flamesy from the yard side. Rain down after 1. It's all flowing for Vitality. And Apex, he said he was going to be more loud this tournament, as if that was possible, but he has been showing very clear determination and animation in himself already just over these last couple of rounds.
I think that every challenge for Vitality is a new one. I was asking in the interview regarding the upcoming season. Obviously, you know, JL is going to be standing in at 2 tournaments, one for Mezzy, one for Apex, with some fresh faces on the way. I feel every opportunity... This one,
yeah, nice.
There'd have to be some organizational pressure for Vitality at the EWC. Right, obviously, just from the Counter-Strike perspective, which is how we're tackling it, you want to see them in semis, in finals.
Of course.
But from an org perspective, with so much money on the line and the club championship still looking relatively open, a good result here and a bad result for some of the other teams could go a very long way.
Well, especially when it's the Counter-Strike tournament and you know you've got the world #1, at least they were.
Yeah, right. But this is coming into this event. It's Falcons, Vitality, and Spirit. And Spirit started with a loss. I still expect them to make the playoffs. But
same.
If all the other favorites make it at the top of their group. We might see Spirit taking on a big name early. Another opening incision.
Doesn't get easier than that. This catches an aggressive silo drop. Gizmy's made it across. I assume Flamesy's going to have an internal timer as to when he needs to check it, and he just did. Does that mean a bit of a jump scare for Flamesy?
Got support around
you. Still hits it, does Gizmy. Sure, Robs was supposed to have provided, but getting output is something. Puts it into a 4-on-4. Gizmy was alone. That's info in itself. Apex providing the overwatch. Device slinking for a main wrap. Here comes Ray. Mezzy's off angle. They weren't ready for that. You see where he was?
That's very cheeky.
Ugh.
Very cheeky
Can
indeed.
I see that? That's what does that look like from the enemy POV? That's gross.
That is Mezzy there being a bit of a geek.
Look at his face. Cheeky.
All right, well, they're getting stomped right now. But if you missed the BB team versus FaZe game, it was a 9-3 first half that turned into a very, very close affair.
I mean, NET round is gold.
Apex is 4-0 in openings right now. He's doing a very good job. One of the issues I had with Vitality at the major was there was a lot of scenarios where they looked out of place and they didn't have a good read of the situation. Vitality right now, especially through Apex, in my opinion, feel like they have a good read of the situation.
Does look that way, you're right.
He's constantly in motion. He's not getting caught off guard.
I think Gizmy is one of those IGLs as well that likes to try and get the team, you know, he likes to manipulate you and force rotation.
Ooh, that almost took him out.
Ramp. 4 are coming ramp.
Oh, great shot out of Flamesy. Robs breaking glass.
Man, I think these guys have like the best shot I've seen.
Leg shot onto Rain through the smoke from Zywoo. Still contributing despite the smoke. It looks like Vitality are so well positioned for this. On that ramp side, but Robs finds the finish onto the leg shot Rain. Another from Robs, and a third!
Wow.
Get out of my sight, says Mr. Cool. Another multi out of him. Easy peasy.
It helps when you win the opening exchange outside, but then also Apex, you see these motions. Okay, I'll wait in the smoke. If Robs takes contact, I come through. I take off one, probably I get traded, but at this point we're in a very strong position. So this is what I mean about them understanding what's happening. And then, okay, they hit the brake, so I'll back off. I won't take the risk. They feel like they're definitely putting the best foot forward right now. 8-2, 2 rounds left in this half before we swap sides.
Suboptimal on the buy. Into the top side. Hang on. Easy pickings. Point and Gizmy crank the sight.
Oh, nice.
Robs down after
broke it
one.
open.
Rain's got main. Saraz actually found Apex as well, so just Sai, we win a 1 versus 4. Kept at bay for a moment longer, but he did make a sound cue. Gizmy knows where you're at. He's gonna opt for an AK and a push. And a spam puts him down. Device will find it on the Galil while blind.
The only way in was pure desperation there, right? You have to hope that you get some crazy timing on the way through, and then you have to hit the ground. So there's that third round.
And of course, it's Tech9's fast top. Like, it's just classic Nuke. You've been trying all these, you know, long-winded
rotations, get map
gun
control.
rounds. Look at the pathing here. Gizmy and Poi rounding both sides of the site. Quick on the retrieval and quick on the trade. Last round, will you find 8-4?
Apex playing very aggressive.
Look at this.
Gonna try ramp again.
Apex, talk about aggressive. There's no way Sarah was ready for that. Robs just won. Gets the dink on Rain. And look how quick and proactive they are playing this. Device might get a freebie. He did catch him. Just a little bit of info onto Mezzy. Puts it into the 3-on-3. Much more healthy are Vitality.
Yeah, they're this one shot. And with how good their aim is, I don't think 100 Thieves wins this round.
Is there follow through onto B? Looks like it.
They don't buy it, or at least they didn't at the start. You can see Apex miles away. Just Flamesy here, but he has that angle over the smoke. They weren't ready for that. Gizmy, side by side with Device, and 2-on-3. Goes for the plant, gets away with it. Apex. Oh, wait. Oh, Device just enough bullets, but swings to his demise, and a clutch for Gizmy that's just out of the realms of possibility.
All right, it looks to me like Apex has been in the lab. I know that's not a crazy shot or anything, but he's had a very good half. He's at 14 kills, and it feels to me like he's been confident in taking his duels. When you see Apex is a bit desperate because the team isn't, he just throws his body on the line, but here it looks like he's been backing himself. And, well, again, I'm gonna take this one in a different direction than the FaZe versus BB team game.
Sure.
This is Vitality versus 100 Thieves. We know exactly what we should be getting from a team like Vitality. Yeah, you have to feel for 100 Thieves a little bit, right? They won the pistol, they get the conversion. Then they get 2 gun rounds on top. Oh, okay, we have a 7-5 half.
Yeah, decent.
You have a bit more of a buffer. That buffer is out the window. Ready to get this one back underway. 30 seconds. Goes damn quick, and we're already into freeze time for the T side. Vitality have 2 smokes. A HE given to Rops, likely for that door. A molly on Mezzy, and flash to boot. Good luck, have fun in the chat, and away we go. Pairs of dual Berettas.
Tally shot's just not missing today.
Util follows.
I thought they grenaded him, but
Does Rain want to try and dip down the vent?
I get confused sometimes when they, like, I can see everything. Sometimes they take that stuff away, and I can't actually see it.
Drop main. And here comes the pressure. Mapping all the way. What a headshot onto Gizmy. Flamesy at range. Takes down the Heaven player. And immediately starts to amplify the pressure onto site. Syrah with dual Berettas has to worry about Heaven, Hut, and Flamesy applying that pressure all on his own. He's got a bit of help. It's ZywOo behind him. Rain's got too many targets on his screen, gets overwhelmed. Still taps 1.
Device in through main.
And Poi going for a late ladder. Good luck with that. ZywOo seems poised and ready. Just hoping he catches the perfect timing, and it's too easy for ZywOo. Device, not the pistol you want at that kind of fight. Fighting Heaven from main, and look at the position of ZywOo. They're playing cheeky Counter-Strike. Triple kill from ZywOo on the pistol. No surprises there. I think the highest rated pistol player is Mr. Wu.
Have 8 opening kills in this map so far between Apex and Flames, who found it there on the pistol and even found that follow through.
Look at this shot.
This is very similar to what BB team ran, but a later timing and a bit more nuanced. Right, trying to do the Heaven and Hell wrap creatively.
Do you think the Hut Molly could mask some of the main drop sound? Like the fact that they drop off as the Hut Molly lands?
To some degree.
Maybe. I don't know.
I just, you think about the angle of, okay, so the first thing that they want you to have to acknowledge is the vent drop.
Yes.
Right, so you're trying to pull a rotator, so when you are wrapping Heaven and Hell, it's less fortified, right?
Yeah,
so
okay. Makes sense.
Well, if they can just get past this force, we'll call it a win for Vitality, I think.
Yeah, it could be really that cut and dry.
And the sucks that 100 Thieves got owned, but man, their shot has just been on today.
5-7 and 1 ain't bad. You'll take it. Flamesy removed.
In that situation, well, that's great. You've got yours. You just need to see what the rest of the team can piece together.
I mean, the second that
well, I guess I haven't watched Vitality, so their shot could be like this every day. But everyone has to have an off day, but it just seems like they have like so many eamers on the Vitality team. So it's like even if someone has a bad day, you can just give it up to another person.
And
oh,
save.
And
all right, 11-3.
Ah, textbook.
I think we just saw one player attempt to go down the vent, and that would have been swiftly called off. I think that was Syrup. He's like, no, actually, you are not attempting a 3v4 retake of... We're looking for damage. We're looking for upgrades. We're looking for something.
Anything.
Not just straight into the save. They were warded away by the forward presence there on ramp, and we knew it was confirmed. Now it definitely is.
And if this is, you know, just Vitality all the way to the finish line, I can't help but feel for 100 Thieves, this game is going to be shrugged off as quickly as should have won the second round. It's going to be, you know...
Sure. It was always going to be a difficult game.
Of course. But
you have to convert those type of rounds.
If you were making a checklist of making this game competitive, you
win the pistols, win the conversion.
Yeah.
And then if you can get a couple of gun rounds after that, we can have a conversation.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, it couldn't be better, right? Look at the fragging output as well. What a lovely spread. Sure, Merriman a little lower down, but that's just because he hasn't seen as many as the opponent or as his teammates. But a very even kill spread from Vitality, not a one-man army by any stretch of the imagination.
And if you reflect on the loss that Vitality had at Bounty online, Nuke was in the mix there, so you're probably feeling, if you're 100 Thieves, like, oh, maybe it is a little bit susceptible. It's like, well, it's our first game since the major, online. You guys are grinding, that's Liquid, that's 100 Thieves, that's your BCGs. Vitality don't have any issues in getting invites to the big events right now, so this is one that they've set their sights towards. They just need 2 more rounds to make this one of the most one-sided games of the day. Just having a look. We had a 13-3 with Game Legion versus Luminosity. 13-6, 13-5.
I don't think that 100 Thieves are. I think 100 Thieves the last time I watched 100 Thieves were playing worse than they are playing today. I just think Vitality is just
forcing out the game.
Absolutely playing out of
their mind. You have to hope that they play fast and then they play around smoke so you can capitalize. Someone gets a multi. Oh, okay. They forced the issue there. You can see the flames on the ground, right? So they have destabilized the fast yard and secret control that Vitality were looking for.
Device has got a scoped weapon, just a scout though. Oh, just from Flamesy.
You're probably going, please smoke. Where is the smoke?
Where's the smoke? Is it in the air?
I did throw it.
It's coming. It's coming.
So's Christmas.
Gosh.
You've just lost the tail there, haven't you? Now feels like anything's possible.
It would have been insane if there was more than one that made it across on that very minute timing. Just Flamesy. And no over-rotation from 100 Thieves so far.
I think Device knows that there's one that's crossed.
The last smoke's on Rop, so...
He might have saw like his little...
Apex is... This team ready to cross secret, so they're going to try and pull rotation at ramp with this fake. There it is. Now the cross, which they did pick up, so they had a contingency for it. However, now the bomb's down secret.
Really well played by Vitality, just manipulating the CTs. Making them dance to the beat of the Vitality drum.
They're going back to A. 20 seconds. There's a problem now.
Yeah, 2 consecutive shots on the scout connecting. Device removing the captain. Wrapping in, Robs bides his time. Device trying to apply the pressure. Doesn't hit the shot. They have to be planting. They have to be clearing corners. And Zywoo's gone down with the bomb. Rain finds the double. 6 seconds is simply no time. 100 Thieves convert the necessary round. This game was over if Vitality found their 12th there.
Okay, I guess we showed a little bit more. The Heaven players saw us. We're assuming a heavy rotation down towards B. They try and come back up. They get caught by the scout.
I honestly think it's because they didn't have that, like, I think they wanted to do another plan, but when they missed their smoke, and then they waited too long to throw another one, I think it's really threw off their plans.
It's a forced error.
Yeah.
Oh, Device, they're already across red. You have to sweep back into this.
He's got the AWP now, and he's going to have to put it to good use. And is he gone? Keeps us level after Apex is opening. 16 and 8 from Vitality's captain in this opening best of 1 for EWC.
Good flash, Flamesy. Oh, I think he copped it as well, ever so slightly. Zywoo with the bomb back to lobby.
Apex across secret stairs, but probably no intention to go further.
And Flamesy off a main, picking up that AK, making a sound cube, so keeping the conversation flowing as Device will take his ult ramp.
This is the fight Robs has been waiting for. Rain puts his head in the vice.
But they're pushing all lobby. Ramp and Squeaky.
There's a belated trade. That's going to make things uncomfortable.
But they know that's the lobby player, so they might have... Yep, assume everyone's outside. That's a bit of a mare.
How has he gotten away?
Oh, no!
What? The magnetic flame follows him up, Tetris.
Oh, and smoked off Poi at ramp.
Yeah, you're in trouble here. Apex is going to catch you.
Hello.
It couldn't be better. Unprepared. Oh, he's just a rat in the system, is Apex.
18 kills deep right now. That was felt like a puppet master moment. You know, Robs goes down solo in lobby. Nameplate Counter-Strike that we've been talking about. 100 Thieves make some assumptions, and it was the wrong assumption. So Vitality definitely pipped them at the post this time, but they had no, look at this, not ready. There was obviously noise on main, so that's drawing the attention, but Device as well, he wasn't holding the angle. He was expecting there to be some utility, like at least a first smoke before they crossed red, but nothing, they just went dry.
Yeah, but you could see throughout that whole round, I mean, like you said, no one was ready for all of those fights for 100 Thieves.
Gizmy's aggressive.
Booking them, and Gizmy spotted by Apex. Backs away. Oh, don't get much more damage than that out of a HE. That could not have been better. Apex has Gizmy 42. Meaning of life.
I think this is the end of this
thing. Map, right? Most multi-kills, 6 and 1 in opening kills.
Nerdy approach to getting on main.
Poor Gizmy.
Yeah, he's just been booked on the reload. It doesn't get better. Looking for that 13-4 escapement to open up EWC for Vitality. Poi with one back, and now Device is off angle, punishing ZywOo. You got an advantage. A man advantage that you need to hold on to, but Flames, he's stalking his prey. He feasts. Finds 2 in quick succession. Advantage gone.
But Device is on the...
Is it going to be the game 2?
Oh, never mind.
Device can deny. 43 on the clock as it's a Rops versus Device 1-on-1.
Bomb picked up, space being given.
He's anticipating squeaky door and now gets confirmation. It's all too easy for Rops. A stomping. A lot of people wanted to see this one go back and forth, tit for tat, but Vitality just mincemeat.
Yeah, a big discrepancy for the in-game leaders. Apex 6 and 1 in opening duels. Gizmy 0 and 6. Vitality march on in the upper bracket. 1 best of 3 away from the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's absolutely what Vitality looks like when they're feeling the rhythm to their own rhymes, and that's because they've just put away in their opener 100 Thieves and a best of 1 that definitely could not afford to have a slow start in. Vitality looking to set a pace and a presence here that we can all hope to keep up with, and hopefully Dupree...
I honestly don't think 100 Thieves played that bad, but like... Well, they weren't ready for some class stuff, but...
multiple years, over the different years. Tell me about what you saw on the server today.
I saw a Vitality that looked very sharp. Let's just put it there.
Vitality was insane today. Like, holy cow.
Pimp sometimes is very clear when it comes to understanding
But
these type of matchups. So
I have work in like 4 hours, so I have to actually get off stream. But I watched the games I wanted to watch today, so well, hope you guys enjoyed it still. Like, I'm not gonna stream. I'll be live tomorrow again, like how I was. But yeah, it's just gonna be like other than that.
Redemption arc is in the stake and also in the building foundation.
Excuse me. All right.
Yeah, the most one-sided game
Bye.
we had today.